Sure, that one on to.
I don't want him to lose his mind because she suddenly vanishes.
6:31, we're going to call it to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I hope.
All right, this is the Ware Finance Committee meeting for January 13th, 2026. Thank you all for coming. First item on the agenda, next item on the agenda is you can have a discussion and take questions about the solar grant, if anybody has any leftover questions. David Erickson from the Energy Committee and Jack Bingham from Barrington Solar are here. And if you guys have anything you want to present to the committee, or you just want to take questions?
Just take questions.
Great question.
Okay. So, yeah, if you come on up to the mic and. We have two.
Mostly they'll be for you, I think.
Yeah, probably. And anybody have any questions they want to lead off with?
There were a couple past questions from the previous meeting. Trying to find my notes.
Aren't they Neil questions?
The big overview of the questions were aimed at if there were any specific requirements in the contract that
Yeah.
could sneak up to have hidden costs that we didn't initially prepare for in the return investment.
Or any variable costs that
Correct.
could be unanticipated.
Well, so, having just looked again at the electric service, that's usually the biggest variable. But this is not a very large system, and the service in that building is a 400 amp service, so it's more than big enough to accommodate what we're gonna do. So there's more than enough budget to deal with the utility on what we're gonna connect to. There's no replacements of transformers or wiring or anything. It's really, the service is great.
By accepting the grant, are there any hidden costs or strings attached to accepting?
Well, I haven't read your grant. I was asking David if, like for instance, Deerfield has a similar grant, and theirs has a 25% match in it, but you also get the 30% direct pay back, like a tax credit, at the end, so it's covered. But David said that he didn't think you guys had a 25% match. So you may have a 100% grant with no match. I just haven't read the grant, so I don't
We
know.
better really get that,
Yeah.
dot our Ts and cross our Is or whatever, but.
Yeah. So in terms of operating this thing, just so you know, the panel warranties are 80% performance remaining at the end of 25 years, which means that for most of us, this is going to run longer than you care. I mean, the panels will run for 40 years. Now, it may be that, I have customers now in year 10 who are saying, is it worth buying new panels now because they're 2 to 3 times as big as they were when I first put them in? That's a perfectly viable decision to make 10 years down the road to increase production. But basically, the panels are going to run forever. Inverters have a 10 to 15-year life, and an inverter costs about, right now, they cost about $4,000, and you have 2. So somewhere between year 10 and year 15, you're likely to replace those.
I've also heard about an interconnection fee that's not covered.
That's in the contract.
Oh, it is?
Well, if there was an upgrade, it's not covered, but it's a minimum of $2,500, and we're not even going to come close to that, because we don't have to change transformers or anything.
So,
The thing comes with the first 5 years of maintenance for free, which means that at the end of year 1, we're going to come in and we're going to do a pull test on all the wires. We'll check to make sure the thing is performing. And then at the end of 5 years, you probably want a maintenance contract, which is going to be, if you want it, $500 a year. And it just means somebody comes in and checks all the connections to make sure they're tight. You'll have a data logger that anybody can log into to see that the thing is performing, so someone will know if it's not. And then the only other cost is, in order to sell renewable energy credits, we have to pay for the monitoring, we have to pay for what's called an independent verifier to report the data to the state. And that's like $100 a year, and you're going to be selling $1,600 worth of RECs. So,
renewable energy credits.
yes, let me explain what a renewable energy credit is. An extra benefit that you get above and beyond the savings you get from the utility, that every megawatt you make is worth a REC, and a rec right now is selling for $35. So we sign you up with a broker, we automatically report those recs to the broker, and 4 times a year you guys get a check. And it should be around, assuming the price is $35, which it is right now, would be about $1,600 a year. So you got a small subscription fee for the logger, you got maintenance after 5 years, which again could be next to nothing, and you got, at some point down the road, you're gonna buy a couple of inverters.
Is the $1,600 from the recs in addition to the cost savings
Mhm.
for the electricity? Okay.
Yeah,
So I guess when we net it all out, what are we talking, we're talking about,
Yeah.
you know, what would that be per year?
well, so it's a little hard to be precise about this because the electricity that comes from the system goes in 2 different places. Some of the power goes directly into the building and is consumed and is used at retail value. Current retail value is about 16 or 17 cents. So that means it eliminates all fees and all taxes and everything. The energy that isn't used in the building goes out through the meter and generates credits, and those right now are worth about 13 cents. So if you take an average of that and you assume that the thing's going to make 47,000 kilowatt hours a year, it's like $6,500 in savings, just direct savings. And mind you, you haven't paid a penny for this thing. So you're saving $6,500 a year for not spending any money at all,
Plus the recs.
plus the
Or
recs.
60.
So $8,000 a year, really.
And then take away, say, 600 for a warranty and the independent reporter,
The independent reporter is about
100?
$50 a year.
And who will be checking to make sure there isn't a panel that's down? Is that something?
Well, so I get error reports every morning
Okay,
or yield reports every morning on every system, and I just go through them quickly looking for variables. But I can't do that every day. I would
Okay.
suggest that someone
Energy Commission,
gets
Perhaps.
a yield report every day,
yep,
and it just tells you the thing's running.
good.
And if for some reason it was a sunny day yesterday and the real yield report is really low, you'll go, why is that?
We should check.
But you can check right online. You can go look at the inverters and see how much they're producing, and it's really a simple thing.
And if you guys see squirrels building nests under the panels, in my experience, that's one of the things that goes wrong. So let me know, and I'll get a hook and pull the squirrel's nest out.
You can target practice.
Yeah, please.
No,
So,
no.
you know, the big thing about these things is they really require almost nothing. I mean, I own 26 systems myself. I've owned them for about 10 years. I do almost no maintenance on them. They just run.
Neil, you came in afterwards, but this is Jack Bingham from Barrington Solar. So if you had any questions.
Thank you for coming.
Sure.
About the grant, David brought him in and offered to give us a Q&A period if we needed it, so.
I just really want to be sure that the voters understand that this is a win-win. To me, it's a no-brainer, so I want to get the word out there.
Yeah.
Voters, you know, it benefits voters to vote in favor of the town paying up front. That's the only complication, is that we have to pay up front and get reimbursed. Yeah.
And at the beginning, you said that you needed to double check on the contract to see if there was a percentage.
I have read the contract, and Jack, I think you've read it, and we didn't see that.
Okay.
So,
There
Jack
are
Dearborn.
all kinds of these grants out there, and it's hard to tell them apart. But if you guys didn't notice it, then I suspect it's not in there. But I would look again just to make sure.
We will double check. Just-
But for instance,
Yeah, right.
Deerfield has a grant from the same source, and theirs is a 25% match. But again, they're paying the 25%, and then they're gonna get the 30% direct pay back from the federal government, so it nets out. If you guys aren't doing that, and you have a grant that covers the whole fee, you can potentially file for the 30% direct pay at the end and get 30% more back.
Really?
I'm not guaranteeing that, but I'm saying that's a possibility.
Do we not know what the grant says?
We have read the grant, Jack Dearborn and I have read it, and I didn't see anywhere in there anything about a match, and I've been reassured by Clean Energy New Hampshire and others that there isn't a
Has an
match.
attorney looked at it?
No.
I think we specifically asked last time for town council to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just raised this question because I haven't seen this grant.
we spoke about this, and yes, we will have an attorney read the grant. We will like to have, before we spend the money, the towns agree to it, and the conditional of us signing the contract, when we actually engage in the contract, will be the attorney reading it.
Okay.
So, I don't want to spend the money up front if the town's not going to pass it. But, there should be no downside if the town passes it and we find something that's a concern. So we will know it before we will sign, the select board will sign the contract
Okay,
to have these folks actually do it.
thank you.
This is a federal grant. Is there any risk that we believe that the federal government will honor the grant and then it will fall through?
And there's reason to worry. It is in New Hampshire Department of Energy fund at the moment, which supposedly has a firewall to keep it from being clawed back. That's what I've been told by Clean Energy New Hampshire.
Yeah, and we like the, I think as a committee, people generally like the fact that it's a grant and it looks like 100%. We're always just looking for that,
Yeah,
the other shoe, so to speak, financially.
Sure.
no, that's your
Yeah.
job.
Operationally, not our expertise, but financially, what else is there?
Sure.
That's why we're asking, so. Neil, did you have a question? I saw your hand, no? Okay. All right, anybody else?
Oh, come on, let's not make this too easy. Okay, nobody else?
Thanks for coming in.
You bet, thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate your time.
giving us a space.
Jack Bingham,
I don't know what we got contract. You had time.
Barrington Solar. Jack, are they speaking with you?
I'm sorry?
Is Beth speaking with you, or?
Beth is speaking for all of us.
Well, possibly not.
You wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, no, you asked to have time in the agenda, I just want to make sure this is your time.
This is an attempt to answer the questions
Yeah.
that were raised,
Right.
and some extra stuff.
Thank you.
I think it is.
So from none to
4.82?
I just wasn't sure, I was like, where I saw it.
Okay, the first thing I want to do is just go over some of the warrant articles that you have not seen yet. In front of you is the list of the warrant articles. The highlighted ones in yellow you have not seen before. The ones in a light gray don't have any financial impact. So the first one that you have not seen is a change to the veterans credit. Kelly Ayotte signed House Bill 99, which changes the service-connected total and permanent disability for the veterans. So what the board would like to do, right now, the veterans receive a $1,400 credit and then a $500 credit on top of that, so it's stacked. But House Bill 99 no longer can stack it. So we'd like to put it back to the $1,900 that they're currently receiving. What also happened was a resident came forward and wanted a veterans credit increase. So that was for veterans and all veterans. So what we did was we combined the two, and it might not show up as one warrant article. We might have to separate it back out. We're still working with legal on this. So what it is we're going to change the service-connected total and permanent disability to $2,150, which was their original $1,400 plus $750. And then also, they're going to increase the veterans and all veterans from $500 to $750. So it used to be two warrant articles, one for the service-connected total and permanent disability for the veterans, and then there was a second article to increase it from $500 to $750. We put them together to try to make it easier. We don't know if we can keep it together. We might have to separate them out. So that came forward from a resident.
So if they separate, then theoretically, we could pass one that combines them to 1,900 and maybe an additional.
Yes.
to
The
make-
$1,900 one will not have a fiscal impact because they're already receiving
It's just a
$1,900.
combo?
Yep.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if we do that, the veterans and the all veterans will receive $750, And now the service-connected total and permanent disability veterans will only receive the 1,900, which is the 14 and the 5. So we wanted to do the 14 and the 750 combined, but it's just too wordy, so we're working on the language of that still.
And this,
Could you
Good.
repeat that again, right now, for each of them, and what each of them will be in total?
Okay, so veterans and all veterans currently receive a $500 annual credit.
That's going up to 750.
It's proposed to go up to 750.
And the other?
The other is the service-connected total and permanent disability veterans. Right now, they receive 1,900. But it's two separate credits. It's a $1,400 credit and a $500 credit. House Bill 99 says you can't stack them anymore,
So the proposal is to change the 1,900 to how much?
to 2,150.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's just a comment. I'm personally in favor of one and not the other. And
Yeah.
So I don't really like them being combined into one, because I would have a hard time voting.
That was the feedback we got today when they heard that we combined them, because the service-connected disability is a no tax impact. The 500 to 750 is a tax impact, so Board of Selectmen are going to make that decision Monday night.
would you need a warrant article to do the combining without the increase? That's just state law, right? You would,
Yes, for the service-connected total disability, yes, it'll just explain why this warrant article is in front of the voters, and it'll say, you know,
No
because of House Bill
financial
19, yeah,
if it's separated.
correct.
But you actually have to have a warrant article for that.
Yes.
What if it doesn't pass? What happens
Then they'll receive the 1,400,
Okay, oh.
yeah, they won't get the extra.
There's no stacking, you go for the one number.
Yep.
Okay.
So if we do them separate and they both pass, the disability veterans will only get the 1,900, and then the veterans and all credits will get the increase to 750, so it's a decision they have to make.
And this cost 91,750 is for the increase, the combo plus the increase, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's not included in our budget, so when you see our total operating budget of the town, you never see the veterans credits in our operating budget. That only comes at tax time.
Because
So
you
you
don't know how many are coming.
Correct, yeah. And it's not really part of our operating budget, so it always comes separate.
So is that 91,750 is just taking it, that's just taking it from 500 to 750?
Correct.
Because the other part is no tax impact?
Correct. Okay. The second one that's highlighted in yellow is going to be the DPW. He's proposing a part-time position being transitioned into a full-time.
Could you tell us what the total full-time cost is? Because I suspect this is just the increase.
Correct. So for 2026, it'll be $38,338. For 2027, it'll be $64,664.
64,
$1,664.
thank you.
You're welcome. And the reason is we're transitioning the current part-time truck driver role into a full-time truck driver maintenance position. This ensures consistent daily coverage for road maintenance, hauling materials, snow removal, and facility support, functions that increasingly exceed the capacity of a part-time schedule. We have heard repeatedly about the amount of maintenance that is needed for town-owned buildings. Integrating maintenance duties into the position further maximize the value of staff time, allowing to use an employee across multiple departments, rather than just relying on temporary or outside contractors. This will save the town money from having to hire outside contractors for small jobs around the town.
How much outside contracting are we doing right now?
In 2025, we didn't do a lot. We do not have the budget. It'd be simple things like on the fire department south station, we had to hire a contractor to fix some roofing over the side doors. Side doors, not door doors. What other maintenance do we hire contractors? Just maintenance on,
Really well, I don't know if this gentleman or whoever takes this position rather would be able to do that, but like, I mean, just like doing the furnaces, we have furnace
Yeah.
contracts and stuff like that, but as far as building stuff goes, the only stuff the fire department did was the maintenance on the south station, the two overhangs that were rotted out that are gonna be replaced.
the biggest thing is just to get a maintenance schedule going first.
You did the, Yep, yep. You can be proactive versus reactive.
Yes.
But the primary is a vehicle maintenance, is that? is
No,
there-
no vehicle maintenance.
No?
No.
Oh, it's just
Yeah, just maintenance on the buildings.
infrastructure maintenance?
Yes.
Not vehicle maintenance?
Correct.
Okay.
Driver/handyman.
Okay,
Yes.
It's, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I
Shoveler,
understood.
in my opinion, a shoveler.
I can,
Every day, every day.
I can tell you that I could give this person a laundry list of stuff to do, to keep them busy for a while,
And they would be able to be shared across the department?
Yes.
unless I'm using them all to myself.
I mean, serious question, does this preclude the need for a handyman, or
Yeah.
is just supplement a handyman if we had one?
We don't have
I
one.
know,
Yeah.
right, but if
We
we,
need one.
when you hired one, are you planning to hire another one in the future? or-
No,
No?
we're actually given all, well, we don't have much in our
It's
budget.
budgeted for 2 hours a month.
Yeah. So we're giving the money that is budgeted for 2 hours a month towards this.
For this?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
How is this gonna work when it's under the DPW, but other people are taking advantage of their services?
The way it works now.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
He's just covering it.
So he would be reporting to you, Jason, and then you would just lend him to whoever needed him?
Yeah, we just talk amongst the department heads, figure out projects that we can make happen and get done.
If he's needed for driving, it's needed for driving.
Does driving
he's
take
available?
priority?
In the wintertime, it will,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, and shoveling.
Here's that.
Oh, we need a shovel. That handicap ramp.
She doesn't like shoveling.
No, I do not like shoveling.
And so there's a person on staff already who is tagged to move to this full-time position?
No,
No? Oh, you have to hire somebody? Okay.
yeah,
Well-
we hire a part-timer every year typically, and it's somebody who's retired, so there's nobody lined up for it.
So a handyman with a CDL, basically, right?
Any questions on? No CDL?
No, I'm just saying no.
Oh.
Good idea to get that out there.
Okay, the other one that you haven't seen before is the cemetery cypre. You've seen that every year. Then the conservation for the forester, again, that's a request that's every year, no tax impact. And then one that we just received, is for the fireworks, $10,000 appropriation for the annual fireworks. Any questions on any of those that you haven't seen before? Yes?
Why is 12 police carport in dark purple?
That one might be removed from the warrant.
He wants his cruiser.
Somebody gonna talk about that tonight? I mean, it's a removal, but the
That was
money's coming
subtle.
from somewhere, so we wanna know where the money's coming from.
So Sergeant Montplaisir came up with a good idea. For us to use special detail funds, it has to be proportional to the use of the equipment. For instance, if we use a vehicle 80% of the time for patrol and 20% of the time for details, we can offset the purchase of a new vehicle, which we do in that warrant article, by 20%. So carport, he threw out there, well, it's a 50-year building. Why aren't we applying that to 50 years? So I did the math. It comes out to $120 per vehicle to essentially establish preventative maintenance on the vehicles. We spend about $3,000 in repairs per vehicle currently, and $1,500 to $1,700 in general maintenance on a vehicle. So $120 is well within the proportional when you look at it long term. We had the town attorney reviewed that, and he agreed. And I went to the Board of Selectmen and pitched that to them, and they said the auditor, we were going to have the auditor review it. The auditor deferred to the town attorney. The town attorney said the way we explained it, it would work. So no taxpayer impact, all detail funds. There's currently $73,000 in an account. The board agreed to fund up to $30,000 on that. And now that everything's a go, pretty much we got to see where we're at with that process. Like we've already done RFPs and obtained quotes and everything like that. I don't know if we need to do them in it. I've already got a building permit. We did get a requote from the lowest bidder last time, and it barely went up. It's a $22,000 building. Then we had to do some electric work, and the building might go up a little because they want a level space, and Jason came out and measured today. It's not quite level, as is much of anything around here. So that's where we're at with that. And of course, last night I had the board, well, I recommended we remove the warrant article since it was going to be funded through non-taxpayer funds, as long as everything worked out. Everything's working out. So.
Good.
Nice.
Yes, sir?
If you spend $30,000 of your $70,000+ on this, are you going to have enough money to pay 20% of your cars in future years?
Yes.
Second question, do you have the legal authority to spend this money without town voter approval?
Yes. Think of it as a donation. We don't need there's certain financial rules depending on what have you, but yeah, we don't need it.
More than $5,000, I thought the selectmen had to hold a public hearing.
Are you talking to me?
You was talking to you guys.
Sure.
I don't know what I can answer. It is over 5,000 and
Yeah.
it would require a public hearing. I'm just trying to catch myself up. I don't have a definitive for you.
Further,
Yes, sir.
how much money goes each year into this fund,
Depends on how many details are asked for.
approximately? Oh, an average over the past couple of years?
18 to 22,000.
Yeah, 15 to 20, roughly.
Yeah. And the cost of a new car is $80,000?
Approximately 80.
So you're
Well,
putting in-
fully upped it, everything.
You're putting in 16 each year,
Yes.
and you're pulling in 20-something.
Correct. And we have used that fund to repair vehicles before, because there were no other funds available. We did that about 2 years ago, spent $8,000 or $9,000 to repair one of the vehicles.
So if you didn't use this money for this building, could you increase the amount of money you contribute towards each car purchase?
No, because it has to be proportional. So I could justify about 20% of the purchase, but that would be about my cap. It's not like a car is out on details all day long. It's mainly used for patrol. So 20% of its use being dedicated to details, what I could justify.
Further questions? Last year, for the first time in many years, you didn't report the individual salaries or compensation that each officer got from this, from doing details. Could you explain why you changed that policy so that we have less financial information?
Sure.
How the town operates?
So it's not taxpayer funded. It was discussions between the Board of Selectmen and the police union. The police union is going to address the comments last night, but think of it this way. Do we report taxpayer funds which are dedicated toward the veteran credits and list the people who get the veteran credits? Do we detail the funds that are giving to people on financial assistance in the town? Those are actually taxpayer funds. Detail funds are not taxpayer funds, nor are they always earned in the town of Ware. They are what's done in the officer's private time, and it's of no business of anybody, as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
It's not taxpayer funded. You can articulate,
Isn't he using or the officer using a taxpayer-funded, partially 80% funded vehicle?
no, not necessarily. If it's in town, they are, but it's compensated. Now, I would correct that. If it's a school detail, that could be reported because that is taxpayer funded. I wouldn't have a problem with that, and I don't think they would either.
Thank you.
Bill?
Just got one, Chief. I thought I heard you say at an earlier meeting when we were talking about budgets that you expected, we were getting kind of high watermark on details we just had, and it's likely to go down in future years from what we've just been doing.
Yeah, we've had a very good year this year, above normal.
Is your projection projection when you're saying how much we're gonna have in the future to pay for the offset on the vehicles? Is that based on today's standards? Or
No,
or the
past year standards. We're probably in the 50,000 range this year.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Detail funds this year, roughly 50. Yeah, it's been a big year.
So when you're projecting ahead, you're projecting a lower amount?
Yes, about 20.
Okay.
20 is normal. But next year is going to be not as good as this year, but pretty good too. They still have to finish a lot of work as far as electric goes.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Sure, yes.
If I put in a right-to-know request, would you have to respond to give me each officer's compensation from this fund, or from details?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
For the school at least anyways, right?
Well, I would give it for the school, but no, it's not taxpayer funded.
Understood.
Beth, didn't you give that information to Frank? Frank emailed and asked Beth, and she provided it.
I was told it was from previous years, it's not current.
It's not current.
Right, yeah.
It is available. But if you waited a year and then asked, you could get the previous years.
Shouldn't, not once the board made a
Oh,
determination that it's
Okay,
not
so-
public information.
Going forward, you wouldn't be able to ask for that.
There was a change on the cruiser as well, right? Do you wanna?
Yes.
I don't know if Beth has an order or anything like that, but.
I can hit that one too. So the cruiser went down because we got a blurb on a J1 grant, which is part of the New Hampshire Department of Highway Safety, that they had funds available for mobile data terminals, which is the computer we have in cars. We were in desperate need of these because we don't get a car every year, we still need a computer every year because they're based on the operating system at the time of purchase. We had 4 vehicles with Windows 9 operating systems, which are no longer our criminal justice information system network compliant, which means they're obsolete. Gulfstown's had them for a while, trying to update them and get Windows 10 loaded on. They were unsuccessful. We didn't have end-of-year funds last year to purchase them, which is what we were looking at. So when I saw that grant available, jumped very quickly. They were looking for grant applications by February, so I got that in today as soon as it was reported by the board last night. And of course, I'm fairly confident we are going to get that grant. And as such, I reduced the MDT cost in the warrant article for the vehicle. So that went down, I've got that over here. It went down $5,564, so instead of the warrant article being $60,000, it's now $54,436. That reduction was based on tax impact, not offset by detail funds, if that makes sense.
Will you say that number one more time, 5,000? How much it went down?
It went down $5,564. Want that one?
And that's reflected on the sheet I handed out tonight, not the one I mailed earlier, but this one. Oh, you didn't get one, Terry? Neil? Yes?
Chief, what else can you do with this fund?
Which fund?
The
Special detail fund?
detail fund, you can use it for a building apparently. You can use it to offset some of the cost of a car. What else can you use it for?
So the town attorney said we need to go to public hearing for additional clarification. Town meeting. Because it's pretty vague. Previous discussions with the town attorney, not recent, like last year or 2 years ago, that's where they established the proportionality standard, which is what I've been going on, and I got the 20% for a warrant article. And as long as it's pretty much for equipment, uniforms, it couldn't be used for pay, or anything.
So could you use that money to offset any cost that taxpayers would otherwise have to bear?
If it's related to details. Like if the officers,
Uniforms? Guns?
yes, yeah,
Will you do that?
20%, sure, absolutely. Priority is vehicles because we have such a hard time getting vehicles. But, for instance, vests would be a good one because we still don't have vests in the budget. I got enough for one vest, I gotta get 3 this year. at a minimum.
So if
So-
you were to do that, you wouldn't have to go to the town? You'd
Oh,
have to go to the selectmen?
I'd have to get, no, well, so something that low cost isn't gonna have its own warrant article.
Spence doesn't need a public hearing.
I'm just wondering how we can use that money to reduce taxes, as opposed to using it for other things.
Well, I mean, reducing taxes is good, but we also have needs that aren't met. It can't be all taxpayer-based. There's a balancing system where we have needs to be able to operate, and this is a fund we can use to fill in some of our gaps. For instance, when we had multiple cars, not more than 2 years ago, 2 wasn't gonna be fixed, if the warrant article passed. We were gonna send it to auction broken. Of course, that warrant article failed, so we had to spend $11,000 to get vehicle 2 fixed. As part of that, 2 is now primarily a decal car because we went a little bit over proportion. But that's what I'm talking about. We have to have a funding source available for things that are not covered by a budget, which does not keep up with the needs of the organization.
So if we continue to cut, or if the selectmen continue to cut your budget, you can still provide a very good police force by spending money from this fund.
Not necessarily. The fund's not unlimited. Again, they're usually normally it's 15, 20,000, and we're spending 16 on just offsetting the warrant article of the vehicle.
Do you know why this year was so exceptional?
Yes, multiple companies were doing work in town, particularly Eversource. Granite State was doing a lot of work. Those 2 in particular, a lot of work. They were replacing telephone poles in town, which they still have to do some this next summer. They have to finish the work. So it'll be a little bit above average this next year too. I haven't heard what Granite State's projected to be.
Xfinity did the same thing. They upgraded a lot of their networking stuff, and so there's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Sure.
There's language on this fund on what it can be spent on, right? So as long as they fit within that, I guess the question comes down to, is there a public hearing required, right? That's the big question.
But my thought was that if it were appropriate to use money from this fund, it could be used to offset money that would otherwise be in the budget subject to taxes.
Sure.
That's the thing.
Yeah, right, that as well.
And we did kind of go in that, there were a couple occasions, I don't remember, it's 24 or 25, where I did give money back to the taxpayer for the use of the vehicle, because we do pay for insurance and gas and stuff like that. So there were a couple of $2,500 payments, I believe, which was taken out, given back at the discretion of the Board of Selectmen to use, which did go back into taxes, into offset taxes. I think that happened 2 or 3 times.
Any chance that you could give us a list of things which might be paid for from the fund and which in fact would offset taxes? Selectmen might like to have that too.
So we can do that at a public meeting, which the town attorney said we kind of need to do anyway, just to establish more clarity on what the fund could actually be used for, because it was unclear when it was established. But that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I just asked the chief something.
Can you come up,
So we don't.
can you come up to a mic somewhere?
Don't
Sorry.
get over our skis here. Chief, are you ever gonna stop buying cars?
No.
Okay. Will you ever stop using the 20% to buy the car?
As long as it's available, I wouldn't.
Thank you. So my point is, if there was an abundance of money beyond what's necessary to even purchase cars, I think Neil has very good ideas. But the question is, at what point will we ever get there, especially with the declining details? So I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, where this, if we had huge amount of detail work, that may be a viable point. But looking at the purchase of vehicles, I don't see that in the near future, to be honest with you. I just want to make sure people don't get their hopes upon this.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I could be wrong. I'm just saying based on my understanding.
And just one point that went in my head too, you heard me talk about the carport before. once we get that carport, we do have one line which will go down $2,500 because we no longer need outside storage. That's provided, so that would reduce my budget by, my next proposed budget by $2,500. So that does kind of directly tie into what Mr. Kirk is saying. There can be a reduction to the benefit of the taxpayers with this fund if it's used correctly.
Anybody else have anything for the chief? Beth, did you?
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
You won't have any other questions for the chief this evening, will you?
I don't think so.
Right.
Those are the two issues.
I was snagging.
Oh, you were snagged? Oh. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So, Finance Committee had some questions.
Thank you.
One of the first questions that I saw from Selectman Dearborn's notes was you had a question about the DPW on-call bonus and how it was paid out. So the employees will receive half of it up front in the highway department, and they'll receive the remaining bonus at the end of the season, which is going to be prorated based on their availability during weather events. The transfer station, full-time personnel only, they will receive the bonus at the end of the season. This is going to be fully prorated based on their availability during weather events. Just a note, the personnel need to be available to respond to snow and ice removal needs during a winter weather event. Personnel are expected to remain ready for immediate deployment if conditions warrant the need for plowing and sanding operations. Yes? Oh,
Is there
I'm sorry.
enough money to pay this bonus in both the default and the operating budget?
No, only the proposed budget.
Even with the huge $216,000 extra for gasoline in the default budget?
Correct, it is not in the default budget to pay this $3,000 bonus.
No, I know it's not in the budget,
Yeah.
but the selectmen obviously have bottom line authority.
They
Will there
could.
be enough money in the highway department budget to pay that in the event of default?
No,
budget?
if we have a default budget this year, we will be robbing Peter to pay Paul across all departments again. There will be no extra money in the budget to pay for this on-call bonus if we don't get a proposed budget passed. Any other questions on the on-call bonus? Okay. Jack, do you want to do the Primex one?
I'll let you. I'll sign in if I have.
Okay, so you had a big question on our general liability, our property liability insurance. So Primex, it's a not-for-profit, public entity risk pool dedicated to serving over 539 New Hampshire cities, towns, schools, and other public organizations. And I'm kind of glad you guys asked this question because through the research that I found, in your package you'll find like 3 pages of every town, city, county that uses Primex for their insurance purposes. I was amazed. So why Primex over commercial? Again, we're part of a risk pool of 539 cities, towns, schools, utilities, and other public organizations. They provide us a statutory cap for $350,000 for personal injury and a $1 million cap on general liability. Other things they offer us is legal counseling, human resources counseling, cybersecurity counseling, training, and risk management. This wasn't something I don't think you guys were specifically asking, but just to show you how our unemployment is calculated. It goes by our taxable wages, and it goes up to $14,000 per employee. So if an employee makes over $14,000, they use $14,000. If the employee makes under $14,000, they use their actual wages. And then what our unemployment rate is, and that's how they calculate our contributions. So next year, our contributions are actually going to be going down for unemployment. And again, this is just 2025 to 2026. In the budget, it's 23's numbers. Same thing with workers' compensation. That is based on payroll, and it shows what the change in payroll was from 25 to 26. And then our contributions increased from $205,000 to $222,000. The change in payroll was 8.875%, And that's because in 2023 is what numbers they used. We had over 7 vacancies within the highway department, we had 2 vacancies within the fire, and we had 2 vacancies within the police over that year. So that's why the payroll increased so much, is because our positions are filled. And then our payroll liability. So what they do is they look at the number of vehicles we have, so it went from 43 to 45, and then they base their contributions rated on that, and it's due to, what did they call that 1.45 ratio, based on a ratio. Our payroll, which is our general liability, shows our values from 2.9 in 2023 to 3.4. Police officers, that's also used in the calculation of our contribution. That was 13 and a half police officers to 13. Our vehicle values went up from 4.2 million to 5.1. And then our property values for the property that the town owns went from 11.7 million to 15.7 million.
Do costs go up with more police officers or fewer police officers?
For the ratio from 2023 to 26, it actually went up. And that would be based on claims.
The ratio changed.
Yep.
The number went down.
And then the anticipated or paid claims.
Do we actually have 13 officers?
Yes.
But we have 11 plus the chief, no?
And then 2 part-times are on the roster,
Oh.
right? Or is he? Oh, he's gone. Sorry. See? He left. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
this property values, is that like town function operational property, or does that include if the town takes over property, you know,
If tax deeded property, yes, I do insure the tax deeded property because it's an abandoned building.
Yeah.
Anyone gets injured on the property, it's
Yeah.
our responsibility. So it is, it's all our buildings, ball fields, gazebo.
Why do you go up so much?
The property values? Since
No,
tw-
the premium.
Well, first you can see the difference in the property values.
You know, the property values went up, let's say a third, but this went
Yep.
up almost 2.5 times.
And then our general liability went up from 133 to 186.
Is that due to something about where, or did that happen to all towns?
He's getting up. I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, Beth and I spent hour and a half with somebody named Sally at, very cooperative, very open. This isn't insurance. This is a risk pool. And part of the problem is there's a base rate that comes up based on what everybody else's performance is. So we get taxed for other people's performance in this. But we get specially taxed for our performance. For instance, you get credit for lawsuits that are settled, whether they're real or frivolous or whatever. We're in a litigious society these days, so everybody's suing everybody else. And so this little line here is important. Let's say we have a whoopsie in the form of a large payout for a settlement against the town. They're happy to pay it, okay? It stays in our calculation for ours for 4.5 years. So let's say if we just have from this year, it's still going back to 2023.
21 to 25.
Right. So that was these ones. So it's not a simple equation. I tried to get it out of them, but this is a many variables go into the calculation. But the base it to say, if we continue to have judgments against the town of Ware, we will pay more each year, and we'll stick with this. It's sort of like, I use this indelicate term, the pig through the python. Python eats the pig. It takes a while for it to come out the backside. So it's one of those things where it stays with you for a long time. So you're not only looking at current, you're looking at past history as well. So now, getting back to why not commercial, the $1 million liability cap, The only two sewers, or I should say, the only two entities not in this list of 539 is City of Nashua and the City of Manchester. They're large enough to go hire probably commercial insurance for $1 million plus for catastrophic. Below that, they just pay it out of pocket, like most large corporations do. We're stuck being the little people, if you will, amongst the other little people, and this is how it works. So somebody else's disaster could affect you, because everybody they have to pay everything out. So you get a little bit of credit for somebody else's, your neighbor. But we get a lot of credit for our stuff individually until it falls off the end of 4.5 years. That's the nature of the beast.
How does that affect the property value increase?
That's what I'm wondering, is that due to assessment changes?
That is exactly what that is. That's the assessment between the two.
So the assessments increase the value of all property,
I believe so. I don't know if there was a reassessment in
It's a
those
lot.
periods or not.
or did we gain more
Or the
property?
acquired property.
Probably.
My question is not the fact that the property values went up by X percent. It's that the premium, the contribution we had to pay went up by 2.5 times that.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
I'd call and get that answer. I don't have that crisp answer for you.
It's normal insurance when you're in a pool, just like you are with homeowners insurance. And if your barn goes up, your insurance covers it to so much. But then you go and have something in your house happen. Your insurance is gonna go up for each time you have an occurrence, but insurance companies buy insurance in areas where they think they're gonna have low usage. And when they start getting higher usage, their rates automatically go up. Doesn't matter if it's you or somebody else, it's what happens in that area. If you take California, if you take Florida, they got hit with fires, they got hit with floods. They have bought, insurance companies spent a lot of money buying insurance claims down there 10 years ago, and now they are running to hit the Northeast and the Midwest because we are a much lower casualty target for them than anywhere else, but we're paying for those claims.
so the increase from 11 million to 15 million is the value of town-owned property. And the reason why the insurance went up more than proportionate to the value increase is because, as Lori is saying, there are all sorts of things going on in society, not unique to Ware,
Correct.
that have caused the insurance companies to have to pay out more.
Only two, like I said, the only two entities not in this pool that we could tell by looking at 539 is the City of Manchester and City of
Yep.
Nashua. Everybody else is in the pool. Somebody has a hiccup someplace, it affects everybody a little
So-
bit. They get full credit, or most of the credit for their period.
And each state generally has a company like Primex that handles this because the complications of dealing with it, the adjusters that handle all these kinds of claims have so many variables that they're figuring in from claims from other places that they have to figure out how to change the rates in order to cover their losses somewhere else. Our rates automatically go up. It's the way it works.
So our pool is the 539 New Hampshire cities, towns, so it's the New
Sewer
Hampshire.
districts, water districts, you know,
Yep.
you'll read through this. I couldn't believe it when I was reading
So-
through it. It's about everything.
Most likely, the increase is either other towns having issues raising the risk profile, or we had something raising
Combination.
our risk, so, or combination of the two. Is there any
Well,
other situation or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do we know how our current 4.5-year risk window compares to our past risk windows?
Well, can I say the number, the gross number?
Well, I know one item that Sally mentioned was everyone starts at like a 1 for a ratio factor, and we are 1.5. So based on our claims, that pushed our ratio up.
When will we go down to 1?
Okay, just so you understand,
Can't answer that question.
baked in this 4.5 average, that gives us the 0.5, we have over $700,000 worth of claims that we are now paying off in this 4.5 years. So if we are good people and never sue anybody else and manage not to do something ridiculous, and we don't get any judgments against us, at the end of 4.5 years, the last one will, assuming you had one this year, the last one will pop off the stack. And then we're at a level. But if somebody else screws up really big time in the state, we still get a little bump.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, that's what a pool's all about. So, one of the things is I learned is, if you hire an insurance company to come in, the first thing to come in is survey all your buildings and everything to see what your risk level is. These people, I shouldn't say they don't care, they're not fussy. You screwed up, they'll cut the check. Okay, that's part of the contract, they'll cut the check. You screw up too many times, they might threaten to throw you out of the pool, you know, but it's basically, it's a structured loan, which they get some large portion of it back over time with zero interest. It's kind of that's the way this thing is designed, because no individual small entity can afford commercial insurance. Good job, Beth. Thank you.
The one other item that's kind of strange is it's property/liability. So you got property insurance, which is about just these two items, and then you have the liability. So it's kind of all lumped together. Any other questions? Okay. And then we have the many, blow your mind, towns and cities and counties,
Oh, good God.
SAUs.
Everybody's
And that adds
Everyone.
up to 539.
And then this CIP priority classification was asked to be put in here for a reason.
Yeah, this,
A reason.
I heard a question come up regarding, this happens every year, so, we allow departments to score it, and typically fire and, police are usually one because they do the health and safety. But when we talked with Jason at the last meeting that was here, he said I'm gonna up it all to one because roads is life and safety as well. So maybe the easiest thing to do in the future is not have any twos. Unless it's something that's not immediately needed for life and safety. I don't know what that would be, maybe something doesn't do with roads, something doesn't do with, yeah. I just wanted to bring this up because it was raised a question, and it always gets questioned. I even added the note down here about 5 years ago, to try to alleviate that question, but it persists to come up. So we have all ones now, based on it, because roads and police vehicles, police assets and fire as well fit that definition. Any questions?
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Another question that you wanted us to look into was the transfer station scale. The reason for this transfer station scale first is to eliminate the constant issue with the revolving fund. I did notice in your minutes that it was mentioned that the transfer station revolving fund is no longer in trouble. It's continuously in trouble. We ended this year in the negative again. Last year now. 5,000, I have it in my book. I'll get it for you. So the transfer station charges for the construction debris is by the yard, and we pay to dispose of it by the ton. You've heard that over and over again. This will allow us to charge the same way that we pay, and the scale rate will include the cost of the maintenance and the certification. Those who use the scale will pay for the scale. Jason?
Question?
Questions for Jason?
Not just the cost of maintenance and certification, but the cost of replacement? In other words, if the scale costs $100,000 and lasts for 20 years, that's $5,000 a year, which should be added to
The cost.
the fee, so that when 20 years is up and
We
the
need a
machine
new
needs to be
one.
replaced, we have enough money in the fund to replace it, paid for by the people who used it.
Yes, so that cost is less than a penny per pound. So that will be tied in at the end of the year. If need, we set up a warrant article to take $5,000, set it aside in a different fund. Maybe make another equipment fund, just call it a scale fund, the transfer station, so that gets put in every year. by warrant article out of the revolving fund into that fund, so you have the money.
I think this was part of what we were having questions about last time, was the actual language
Right.
of this and getting it set up so that it went into the correct fund, so that it could be paid for out of the correct fund in the future. And I think the selectmen had said they were gonna work on that, but I don't know that I've heard any update on that.
So the revolving fund by law says you can use the money to pay for anything that promotes recycling. So by law, we could leave that money in the revolving fund and choose to spend it out of that. I think it's much cleaner telling people what our intentions are with this money, so making a new fund next year, if we get to scale, we move forward with taking money out of the revolving fund and putting it into a new scale fund for future replacement, then that's what we do. I know
So you
this.
wouldn't create the fund at the time of the scale purchase?
No, we'd do that with a new warrant article next year if we get it.
Just a little bit on that, with this police special detail revolving fund, what I do now is I track the cruiser revenue that goes into it separately. That's how we know how much cruiser revenue is in that fund. So we would do the same thing with this fund until a new fund is created, just track it separately. We did have a slide on the solar, but we had Mr. Erickson here this evening, so do you have any questions on the solar? No.
Anybody? You concur with it?
Another question that you had was regarding the fire department pay scale. So the pay scale policy does not automatically give every employee a step increase annually. The employee must receive a 3.24 or higher on the adopted employee performance evaluation forms. The employees must complete goals set by their supervisor. These goals will include directed skill improvements. This policy would promote workforce stability, reward high-performing employees, and it'll support fair and transparent compensation practices within the department. Did you have any other questions? Yes.
Historically, has there ever been a year when every employee did not receive a step increase?
This is the first year we're adopting the steps, the scale.
But in the past, there have been no years in which, in the past, every employee received a step every year.
We've never had a scale
Never had it.
we've never had a step scale for them to be in. We're adopting the scale for the first time, and a policy on how they move through it.
And does the town pay for the skill improvements?
Yes, the training, yes.
And do these skill improvements allow the employee to go into a higher classification and at a higher pay?
Yes, they could, yes.
Just like the
One thing I just said, and I apologize, we've had a scale, I'm sorry. About 3 years ago, the scale was adopted by the Board of Fire Wards, when we had the Board of Fire Wards. And then when the Board of Selectmen took over the governing of the fire department, they also brought the scale with them. But there was never a policy on how the employees moved through the scale. So we had the scale, there was just never a policy on how they moved through it, so they just sat there.
I always thought that when it came to professional advancement, like a teacher getting a master's degree up from a bachelor's degree, that the employee paid for that, for these courses or training
Okay.
that was involved. Apparently, that's not the case in the fire department.
No, I don't believe any department, we're all allowed to go get training to better ourselves.
At the
I
town's
mean,
expense.
they're not going to go get masters or doctorates, but,
And even if we did, there's tuition reimbursement from the town for that. So as long as you do well and you get a good grade, there's tuition reimbursement, so the town's paying for that education in a way anyways. For college, if we're going to a college class.
But for the fire department, we are paying for the training that then allows not just skills, but training that qualifies a person for a higher,
for a promotion, yes.
for a promotion, and then that person gets the promotion, the town having paid for the training that went into that promotion. Is that the
Correct.
policy?
Yeah, it's like the schools.
Yep.
Schools
Like the
operate
police
exactly the same
department.
way.
Here, if we want to get,
Point too, this is not unique to Ware. Every department in the state pays their employees for training.
There are two different kinds of training that I'm talking about. One is training necessary to continue doing your job at the same level. The other is the kind of training that qualifies you for a higher position. The former kind of training, of course, we pay for. It's the latter training that I'm asking about.
Okay. But we do.
And the point stands. I've worked for several departments. Sorry. I've worked for several departments, police and fire, and all my training has always been paid for. And when I completed training enough, I could get promoted. And that was paid for by the department and by extension the taxpayer.
Thank you.
All right?
Bill?
So currently, fire department personnel are not paid on a pay scale.
Correct.
So they're tied into the COLA article or whatever.
Yes, they are.
3%, 5%, whatever it is.
Correct.
So if this is established, you would potentially go up on the pay scale as well as getting
Correct.
the 5%.
Yes.
Where is the pay scale? Is that somewhere?
Yeah.
Is that available?
Yep.
So you can see what, like with the teachers' contracts and stuff, you got so many steps and you can look at the numbers.
Yep.
So,
The result of...
Send you that?
no, you go right ahead. You're doing well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hold on a second, Bill. Bill, are you set? Or,
No, I was just wondering, where is the pay scale? Will it be Bill or
Yep.
people? Yeah, that's what we might.
Yeah, I'll send it first thing tomorrow.
Lori jumped in.
So just so I'm clear, and it's not that I'm negative or anything about it, but I do want clarity. The teachers have contracts. The
Okay.
police department has contracts, so they have the scales and they have the steps and the whole 9 yards. Now, it sounds sort of like we're doing that with fire. My other question would be, if this is what we're leading to, where does that leave highway?
Are you gonna propose a scale, pay scale?
Board of Selectmen been working on raises.
Yeah.
As far as I knew, they were working on step raises, but I haven't seen it. I know it's been talked about, but
Because it kind of
Just trying
sounds
to
like
think
the
of the
whole
training.
town's heading towards a union direction.
No, there's still too few employees to do that.
But we're heading that way.
Yeah. Have to have 10? 10, you have to have 10 full-timers, and it was always stated that there's only gonna be 8 in that department.
And really, there's only 7 because one of them is a director, would be Assistant Chief Anderson is counted as one of the 8, so there's really only 7.
And you need 10 for a union.
Okay.
Bill?
Beth, on the pay scale, when you move up a step, what percentage increase is that?
To 3%?
3%. So if the town were to vote in favor of the
Private chair.
wage increase for town employees, and if this pay scale were in effect, a firefighter would get a 6% raise each year.
So this year, the pay increase for non-union, it's based on their employee evaluations. So if they received an average score, they get 2.8%. If they received an above average, they get 2.9%. And if they received exceptional or outstanding, they get a 3%. So it depends on where they fall in that. They could get a step and then a 2.8, 2.9, or 3.
So the firefighter would then get a 5.8 to 6% increase each year.
Correct.
Well,
Based on if the non-union warrant passes.
Assuming this pay scale is adopted and firefighters are included in the general wage increase.
it's not, the 3.24 is not guaranteed, okay? So if we do evaluations, and again, this is gonna be set on goals and improvement, So if those goals and improvements are not met, they're not gonna move through the scale. And that's up to me. And I'm not about to be pushing people through who haven't done what they're supposed to be doing, right? So the employee may, in fact, only get the cost of living, the lower part, which is, what'd you say? 2.8
2.8 to 3.
So that employee may only get 2.8%. I don't know that, but this is going to foster having people be better employees and want to move through the department. And with better employees, that better serves the town. That's more education that these people have that could better serve the public that we're trying to do.
So, I'm not opposed to a step scale for firefighters, but I am a little, I guess, confused about the mechanism. So if there's no limit, because every single employee, if they scored a certain amount and met your expectations, they would get a raise. I guess I'm used to there being a wage pool that then you can divvy up among a group. But so there's no cap on this.
There is, and when we could get that pay scale to you, so you can see that, there's only 7 steps. We're proposing 7 steps. So theoretically, if you walked on water for 7 years, okay, you get to the top, and that's it. You don't get anything more on that. You would still get the cost of living, but you would not move through another step. The only way you could advance, say I was just a firefighter and I got through my 7 steps, okay, and I'm at my top, and year 8 I'm like, oh God, I'm just gonna throw $30 an hour, I wanna make more than that. My recommendation to them would be, okay, well, if we have a lieutenant's position that's open, then you start at the lieutenant's position and you drop down and you go through those steps. So in order for you to get anything past 7, you have to have a significant jump, either go from like a firefighter to a lieutenant to a captain to an assistant chief, or something like that. If we don't have a opening, right, and the department's full, and we don't have an opening for a lieutenant's position or a captain's position, then I'm sorry, unfortunately, you stay at that capped at that 7-year high, and the only thing you're going to be getting is the cost of living after that. So it actually makes people want to, unless you don't want to, but I think most people want to succeed and get better in their job, I would think, that they would strive to be that next level. And if we had an opening, we could hire within instead of hiring someone from the outside or something like that. But there is it just doesn't keep going infinity, and someone's going to be making $70 an hour after working there for 20 years. It's capped at that 7 year. And we could get that pay scale for you guys, and so you guys could look at it.
I'd very much like to see that.
Yep.
Bill has a question.
That's what you're saying is how it'll be now, but I mean, nothing would preclude, once the door is open, nothing would preclude, say, at some point, making it 10 steps, or 12 steps, or people off scale. I mean, it's all subject to change.
All of that was pretty much adopted by, and it has to be, back then it was the Board of Fire Wards. So any kind of changes to that, to the scale itself, would have to go through the Board of Selectmen, and I would assume probably a town vote. I mean, I can't say that, but I would think that would be what would happen, right? So I can't arbitrarily say, this year, we're going to 10 steps,
Well,
Hang on, boys.
Was the original step system put on the warrant?
The original step system was, again, developed a number of years ago when Chief Vizina was here, and it was accepted and adopted by the Board of Fire Wards. When the Board of Fire Wards was dissolved, the town absorbed that, and they absorbed all that stuff. There was never anything in place. I think of this as the step system was a storefront, and it looked great. There were signs on it for sale, sale prices, and you walk through the door, and there's nothing but an empty warehouse behind it, because there was never anything put in place by the town, by the Board of Fire Wards, by anybody to make this system work. We jumped on this year because the town finally adopted the evaluations. So, and the town has their system now on the evaluations. So we're basing all our stuff off of the town accepted evaluations. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. The stuff is already out there, and we're just building off of that. And this was the easiest way because, again, we had the system that was adopted, but there was never any way. I've had employees that have done excellent work, right, for the last 5 years, and they have maybe moved one step, and that's because, you know, we asked individual pay raises or whatever. So this has been in place, but there was no vehicle, there was no way of moving through the steps, and this is just that. We are proposing, this is a way to move through the steps finally and get this kind of working the way it was supposed to be done.
Neil, did you have a question earlier, or did?
I'll let
Okay.
Lori first, I'll go later.
This also goes to retention of people,
Correct.
because I don't know that we have any vacancies, we may or may not.
We do not at the point, or the moment.
But should you have that, like any other occupation, employees look to see what you can provide. If they're going to give you their time, they want to know what they're going to get back, what can they expect. And this gives you a better package to present to them in order to make them want to come here.
Correct. I have not seen a fire service that has not had some type of step program to move through for your payroll. And for when we go to hire somebody who's coming from another department, and we say, here's your pay, you're going to get paid this much, but God knows when you're going to get a raise, that's not creating warm and fuzzy with people, because that's not the standard that pretty much almost every fire department in the state of New Hampshire runs on, right? Also, you know, you mentioned retention. You know, we went in the middle of the road, and when I have a vacancy, it's costing the town $110,000 a year for me to have a vacancy. Middle of the road. I'm not talking EMT basic. I'm not talking EMT paramedic. I'm talking the middle of the road, an EMT advanced EMT, okay? And not an officer, and just advanced EMT. And it's cost $110,000 for a play. Basically, it's a little over $10,000 a month that I have to shell out because I have a vacancy. I'm trying to keep the people, the good people who live in town, taxpayers, work here. I'm trying to keep those people here. But the fire service nowadays, there are so many carrots being dangled all over the place that people could walk out of this town and go make 25, 30 grand more in the town next door, and it's very hard. We don't have a lot of benefits here, right? And this is one benefit, at least, that people can guarantee, can see their future up to 7 years, right? And if they want to go further, then that's when they're going to have to either wait till there's a vacancy or something like that. Neil?
How many pay scales will there be? One for captains, one for lieutenants, one for firefighter one for firefighter two? Could you tell me how many separate scales there will be?
There currently is scales for firefighter EMT basic, firefighter A EMT, which is kind of the middle of the road, firefighter paramedics, lieutenant, and that when I say lieutenant, and then there's lieutenant EMT basic, EMT A, EMT paramedic, and then there's captain with the same thing, and then there's the assistant chief, and I don't think we did anything with the I think the assistant chief is just one line. I'm not sure, I'd have to look at the pay scale again. But we only have 8 employees, so this isn't, I mean, it's not gonna
So
be.
an employee could be not on these scales for 7 years, but for 20 or 30 years by getting promoted from various ranks.
Absolutely, it's all up to the individual. If the firefighter wants to stay firefighter basic EMT, then if they do great, they're gonna move through the scale for 7 years, and at the end of 7 years, and they plan on working for the town of Ware for 25 years, the rest of their time is gonna be just getting that cost of living raise. That's it.
Thank you.
So, to Bill's point, I think the Board of Selectmen could change the scales whenever they want, because it was never voted on. It was adopted by the Board of Fire Wards, and now the Selectmen are the Board of Fire Wards. So they can change it whenever they want, without voter approval,
As long as there's enough money in the budget.
as long as there's enough money in the budget. So I guess my issue is that it is, the way it's set up, without it being a pool of money or a known amount of money per year, is that it incentivizes the chief to give good reviews, to move people through in 7 years and keep his employees happy and maximize them, because he could, technically in this case, he could move every employee, if he gives them all good reviews, he could move every employee up every year for 7 years and get them there quickly to a higher pay rate. And whether they want to go do something else or not, they would sit at that higher pay rate and they'd get there quicker, because there's no cap. Like, there's the 7-year cap, I get that, but there is no cap on the number of people per year who can get this step increase. There's no actual pool of money. It is an unknown amount of money. Like, we know what the maximum amount of money could be if everybody got it, but we don't know what that amount of money will be each year, depending on who gets what review scores. That's my issue with it, is I don't like the implementation of it.
In other words, this is not being put into a separate warrant article, so the voters would have an impact on this. This is being done within the budget by the selectmen. Is that your understanding?
It is, yeah.
It's similar to the school, I think, in that way, right?
No, there's a labor contract with.
Well, it has to be approved, but I mean, once they're in there,
They're
But they
there.
can't change it during the.
they can't change it.
But when the contract is finished,
Right.
and unless there's a new contract, there's no step.
But everybody moves up based upon.
I mean, I could tell you to your thing that I would move people through. Number one, I don't know, I hope you wouldn't think that of me. I mean, because well, and that is true. That is absolutely true. I may not be the chief. But I could tell you, like, for this year, I would have to look, there was probably 2 or 3 people that would have not moved through the scale. If this was implemented today, 2 or 3 people would not have made their step.
Did they get increases?
No, I don't have any money, Neil. I wish I did. No one has got an increase in pay. The only pay increases that we have been getting have been the cost of living increases. That is it. We have not been getting any other. No one has moved through steps. This is all brand new this year.
So
And
historically, at least for the past few years since the Board of Fire Board was adopted,
Yep.
firefighters only got the cost of living from the town.
Correct.
Is that
correct. That is correct.
And there was a separate warrant article, right?
There was a separate warrant article a couple years ago where everyone got, I forgot what it was, if it was 3% or
Separate 3%.
it was separate 3% or whatever. But no one has, using the step system itself,
Nobody's done
no
that.
one's done that. And no one's still gonna do that. That's why we're trying to implement this now, again, because it's there, and it was adopted by the town, but there's no there's no teeth, there's nothing behind it on how to do it.
Jack, did you want to add in? Could you come up, though?
Yeah, I just want to.
Sorry. Got to get you on the mic.
You want me to get out of your way?
No, just stand to the side.
I could move the mic for you.
Thank you.
I'll stand aside for you, Jack.
I think the chief has mentioned, I just want to reiterate, this is what all the other fire departments around us that are full-time are doing. So what we do is, this is the model, we hire people fresh out of school, we train them up for 2 or 3, 4 years, guess what? They leave. Guess what happens? So we never get to go up this competency scale, if you will. Now, in my business, which is not fire department, we pay for performance and we also reward for improved competencies, degrees such as that. And we don't chain anybody to the company if they got a PhD in engineering. They're free to leave after we spent $100,000 training them. It's just the way it is in the industry. And you can't, there's no indentured servitude anymore in this country. So instead of us having of course we've only doing this for a little while, instead of us having a training fire department for other departments, okay? I think what the chief is doing, and the board recognizes this, we're trying to set this up as professional growth within our town. And I, for one, kiddingly, in my 8th decade of life, would like to have a more skilled paramedics, if you will, and EMTs. And I think everybody would when the needs arises. I mean, if you had a choice, you'd obviously pick the most qualified person. The way our business model is today, if you will, is bring them in at the bottom, because that's what you hire people out of. If they were more qualified, they go to some other town. Hope you keep for 2 or 3 years, and then they're gone. And you got to repeat the cycle. So I think what the chief's trying to do, and the board recognizes, we're trying to establish this. This is the mechanism to do this. And to Chief's point, you have to have faith and trust in the chief's ability not only to understand how to fight fires and paramedic, EMT, he also has to be able to perform as the head of the department. And this is the key issue here. We aren't paying people for doing the same job. We're paying people to become more skilled in their job, and they'll get the reward for it. And we'd rather have them here than go someplace else, and we have to go back and pull people in. I think that's the bottom line. It always answers the why bother question. Why bother doing this? That's the issue. Everything else has been implementation we've been talking about. Thank you.
Is there any thought that or is it possible that the Board of Selectmen could say, we're going to put it in your hands, Chief, we're going to have this scale here, and whatever the scale is, the steps, completely within your control, but if we have a COLA increase in a warrant article, that it might exclude the fire department, because that would cover public works who aren't on this type of scale right now, library people, people in town administration, and saying, you have it completely within your control to set the standards and working with the Board of Selectmen to adjust the scales.
Well, you're okay, I understand, I see what you're saying. Like, I have the ability to withhold the cost of living and just give out the step increase, say they got a step increase. Is that what you're saying?
You set your steps on what you think.
There'd be no cost of living.
Right, my personal opinion, and everyone's probably gonna hate this right now, but cost of living is cost of living. Your cost for your tank oil, your house, probably the same cost that I'm paying for my tank oil. I don't live under a bubble. I live in Hillsborough, where the taxes went up more than this town will ever think about increasing their taxes. So, and that's a problem, right? You know what the problem is, it's my problem, right? But with that being said, I strongly believe in having those two things separated. You have a cost of living raise. Actually, I don't, for me, the way the town is doing, that they're tying a cost of living to your to your performance, I particularly don't like that, but that's not up to me, right? Because that's a cost of living. Every single human being is bearing that load going across the thing, no matter what you do. This is a performance thing, and so not only, I want to be able to give someone a raise that if you're, if you want to be a broomstick and sit in the middle of the corner or sit in the corner all day long, then you're not going to move through your steps. You're going to stay at the same step. And this is a performance, and it's to help hold and retain the people who I have and be able to move them through. I would not be to answer your question, I would not be in favor of that.
Well, just bear with me, because I'm saying, you get, working with the Board of Selectmen to set the steps, what they are, and your steps could be cost of living and performance.
Correct.
Wrapped into one, without whatever the town is doing for the rest of them. I mean,
As far as that goes, I don't know how that would work if it's wrapped into one
Talk
thing.
about the COLA applying to the whole scale, the cost of living. So if they voted a COLA, right, the whole scale would move with the COLA.
Oh, the scale is definitely going to have to, if that's what you're talking, the scale itself is going to have to move with the cost of living, and it has done that as far as that has been since the scale was adopted, because the only thing I use that scale for now is when someone comes in, we hire a new person, I look on that scale and I go, okay, they're an EMTA firefighter, and this is what the pay rate is, and that's what I pay them, okay? But so that scale has been, let's just say 5 years, as Chief Vizina had implemented it or started it, okay? For the past 5 years, whatever the cost of living the town has done, that scale has moved. Beth has moved those wages reflect that, I guess. And I don't know if that's, to answer your question, I don't know if that's what you were asking.
That's actually what I wanted to ask, if the step numbers would change each year in addition to the COLA. So you say you get the COLA, then all of your scale numbers are also
Correct.
in addition going to increase by the COLA?
They are going, because this is the reason why. If they don't, okay, and I have...
It's worth less.
Right, after I have 7 steps, and if after 5 years and no COLA, I can't hire a firefighter for $16.50 an hour. You know, Wendy's is paying $18 to flip a burger. No disrespect to flipping burgers, or Wendy's. But, so that scale has to move with the COLA. And whatever that COLA is, if it ends up being 3, if it's 2, if it's 1, whatever, that scale will move with that, as it has in the past.
What is your scale? Is it a 3% increase each
Me,
year?
personally?
No,
Oh.
the proposed scale.
The scale was just, it was 3%. It was 3%.
3% between the
Yep,
steps.
between the steps, yes, it's 3%.
And then, when you get from fire... Compounded. So when you get to firefighter 2, and I'm sure I'm not using the right terms, start off at firefighter 1, you go through 1 through 7. If you go to firefighter 2, step 1 for firefighter 2 is 3% compounded more than step 7 for firefighter 1? Is that how that works?
No. No, there is a gap in that. And it would be from, just so you know, and this will be better once you guys get the scale, so you guys can look at it.
Neil's question. If you hit 7 at the lower grade,
Yep.
he moves to the next grade up, where would he hypothetically fall at the next? He wouldn't start at 1 necessarily.
No, you're not gonna start at 1.
Might be 3 or 4.
You might be 3 or 4. What you would do is that top scale, year number 7 of a firefighter, and just say they were going to lieutenant, and just for numbers, the guy's making the person's making $20 an hour, right? I would say, add 3% to that, and that's where we would start them on the lieutenant scale, right?
because they're going up, and then they would finish out their 7 years with the lieutenant scale.
X number of years left.
Correct.
Hey, Chief.
Correct.
In terms of, this may be the same question, but do you know what the average tenure is for your staff?
I think,
2 years.
yeah, probably like 3 years.
We have an
3-4 years.
50% every 2 to 3 years right now.
I see, and of that, how many are new to the industry versus coming from another town with prior experience?
I would say everyone pretty much has had either a year or less experience. I'm thinking, and that's an average out of the new people that we hired. I mean, a couple of years ago, literally half of my department left. We were running the department with 4 people and myself, and I had to hire 4 people, and out of the 4 people I hired, I think, I'm trying to remember, because actually the people who I hired, they've all left already, and I've hired new people, and they have left already. So to Jack's thing of saying, we're a training ground, that is absolutely true right now. We're a training ground for every single other fire department out there. And unfortunately, it's about who has the better benefits and pay and everything else. Yes.
Chief, just to confirm, you did say that, like, this pay scale is the same pay scale that other towns are using?
No.
Okay.
The system, the step system is what other towns are using. Some towns, I want to say, and I can't be sure, but I could find out for sure, like Nashua, the city of Nashua, 5 years, you're at your top step. So 5 years, you're at your top step, that's your top pay, what you're gonna get. The only way to get more money for a performance base, okay, is to either become like a lieutenant or a captain, or to move through the system, right? If you want to stay a firefighter all your life, which is perfectly fine, you are going to be at that pay. When you reach 5 years, you're going to be at that pay, and that's it. You get cost of living. I could tell you personally, when I was over in Bedford, I worked in Bedford for almost 24 years, and I went through my steps that I had, and my last 5 years that I worked in Bedford, I got a 1% raise, which equated to end up being less than a 99-cent cup of coffee every day. So, and I did that for 5 years, and I didn't go anywhere, because either I had to be promoted or I needed to go do something else, and then I would have went into that step system scale. So other departments do it. Some departments are 10 years, some are 7, some are 5, but the step system is the standard of the industry and the fire service.
Okay. So just if you had all rock stars and you wanted to give all of them the max promotion and max pay that you could, you'd still be limited by your actual budget that you could pay, correct? It's not just magical budget that's going to appear that you're going to be able to pay?
There you
For
are.
that, the evaluations are done in the fall.
Okay.
So based on their evaluations is proposed for the following year.
Okay, so that would go into the town budget, that would then
Correct.
get approved, so it's still gonna be visible for how much the wage growth is gonna happen. Thank you.
That would
Yep.
carry forward the default budget then too, right?
Correct.
Chief, if your problem is, was suggested by your answers to some questions, is retention, why would you not want a 10-year or 12-year scale rather than only 7 years?
Because people don't want to wait 10 years to get to their top scale. People want to get to their top range. They want to know that when they come to work, they buy a house and where. They want to know that what their pay is going to be for the next couple of years, pending
them being a great employee, right? If they're not a great employee, that's the incentive. If they're not, if you want to be a broom handle, you certainly can be a broom handle, but you're not going to get a set.
It also makes us a slightly more attractive when we're looking to hire, that we're not a 10 or a 12 year, they kind of look and say, oh, okay, well, I'll make my top 7 years. It gives us that little bit of edge, maybe over that other department that might have a little bit better benefit in some other fashion, right? So it gives us a little bit of an edge.
And that's the thing, we don't, like I said before, we don't have a lot of these fancy, attractive things to attract people into town, and I would love to keep the group of people who I have now who are trained, they know the town. We have a couple that are new, but they're town residents. They know the town. They're a taxpayer in the town. That's what I like having. Plus, on top of that, when we have a call or a second call, these people, because I really don't have a whole giant call force anymore, these are the people coming back. These are the people coming back and taking the second ambulance to go to your med call, instead of waiting for Henniker or Goffstown or Deering or Dunbarton. You have our own people coming back and grabbing another ambulance or going on a fire call or something like that. I love having the people who work for me and work for you guys live in town and be town residents, because that gives them a lot of skin in the game too, because they're paying taxes like everybody else is paying taxes.
Chief, I have a question.
Kate was raising her hand earlier. Sorry. You all set?
I'll ask after her.
So in terms of retention and turnover, you had mentioned that approximately 110,000 per position, and losing 4 positions since you began in your role, which would be 440,000.
I've lost more than those 4 positions.
Okay, so assuming approximately 440,000 with 4 lost positions, what would be a comparable number when we consider an increase of 3% over your force? So when I think about 440,000 turnover rate, 4 positions, 110 per position, what does that cost with your entire force currently for a 3% increase? What is that budget number?
Yeah, around $22,000.
22,000?
Yeah.
Wow, so just to give that 3% increase is multiples over one position, that's what, 5, 6 times? 5, 6 times?
Yeah, I mean, this, I always say, I use this analogy, Jack's laughing.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it again, time and time again, we've stepped over the $100 bill to pick up the dime on the other side, okay? And I know fiscal responsibility and everything like that, but when it comes down to it, if this is costing $23,000 a year or whatever, this should be, I shouldn't say easy, because it's not easy, but it should be easy. Because if I lose an employee and if a paramedic walks out of the station tomorrow and says, I'm gonna go to work for Concord for $10 more an hour or something like that, now I have to find a paramedic. You can't find a paramedic. If I'm paying a paramedic now $30 an hour, there's no way I'm hiring a paramedic for $30 an hour. That's impossible. I'm going to be paying $40 an hour, $45 an hour to hire a paramedic, because that's what paramedics are going for. So I want to, again, retain the people who I have and show them good faith by the town and by me that I value them. I value them. I want them to succeed. I want them to grow within the department. I'm not going to be here forever. There's going to be positions open, right? So this allows people to move through the department to get better and improve themselves. And who doesn't want to do that,
Kate,
you
did you
know?
have a question?
Yeah, I just gonna, two things. One, reiterating, it is very much an incentive for him to move people through quickly. If you're talking about retention, then you're gonna wanna move people.
I take
or else they're
offense to
gonna-
that.
Or else they're gonna be unhappy. They're
I
gonna
take
say, "Well,
offense to
didn't
that.
get my-
I
didn't
could
get my-"
tell you that I have unhappy employees now, because for the last 5 years, we haven't done anything. And the scale has been there, you know?
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's
not opposed to the scale.
time
I
we
just don't-
implement it.
I don't know that this is the best implementation of it. So, yeah, and then saying it's 22,000 this year, but then every subsequent year, it will be more because you've now moved everybody up. And then you've moved
Not
everybody up.
necessarily, because
If they stay, if your goal is retention and they stay, then it does.
But
have to
people-
go
I
up.
would argue it's less than 110,000, and for it to reach 110,000 with a multiple of 22,000 would be significant amount of time and inflationary influence that would almost cause pause for the town if that was the impact. And so I'm curious, what does 110,000 include? What is that vacancy? Like, what compiles that? I'm so sorry to interrupt.
The 110,000 compiles the cost of the employee, retirement, uniforms. I spend roughly, to get an employee up and running on uniforms, is probably, and if I have to buy gear for that employee, because if I have an employee that's this tall and they leave, and a guy like me walks through, I'm not putting that guy's clothes on this guy.
Or vice
Right?
versa.
Or vice versa. It's right there, you're talking $8,000 to buy a set of gear, and then you're probably talking another at least $1,500 to $2,000 in uniforms, jackets, everything that we have to buy for the employee. Boots. So there's a significant amount, just not even talking on the payroll side. A person leaving, and then I have to go buy all this stuff when someone else comes in. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money in turnover.
Kate, did you have a follow-up?
I had one question.
You said two.
This is probably for the selectmen. So the step amounts, they increase by the cost of living every year, courtesy of y'all, but is that only if the cost of living increase is approved by voters, or is it whatever the cost of living is each year?
It was only
Automatically
approved by
gets
voters.
added.
Yeah, it was only moved if it was approved by
So if the
voters.
cost of living is approved by voters, then that step
Correct.
goes up by that.
Whatever that
voted
amount is,
on.
whatever the voted amount is,
Okay.
yes, the steps move.
The step doesn't go up, the pay goes up.
The whole pay scale.
Correct, the pay scale keeps going up with,
The entire pay scale would go up 3%.
if that's what the
Every time-
voted,
so
approved cost of living.
Yeah, it will go up. But the actual, I guess the base number, so there's the inflationary stuff, but then there's a base number that is what is there right now. Does that part of it also go up by COLA?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
So you will get COLA and you'll get the COLA as a percent on top of that base rate?
Yes.
You would fall behind.
Right,
Yeah,
you would
if
fall
not-
behind, yeah,
right.
okay, I just,
Yep.
but it's only it's only the COLA is approved by voters.
Correct.
Okay, it doesn't automatically get added
Nope.
every year based
Nope.
on social security.
Naomi, did you want to come up and
I just
chime
want
in?
to point out something that was earlier.
All right. Can you just go to the mic, if you don't mind?
I'll go sit down.
So, there was earlier conversation about, we've sat here for hours talking about retention and what we've tried to do. A good share of you sitting at the table were at deliberative session in 2024 when we tried this. Article 8 in 2024, we had a 5% COLA. At that time, fire chief also presented $1.50 per hour on top of, to try to keep the staff that we had. Didn't work, because someone on the floor decided that they were gonna make an amendment to Article 10 that had 22,000, hang on, getting old, $22,993 for $1.50 an hour wage scale adjustment. On the floor, the decision was made to add, should Article 8 pass, then Article 10, which was this $22,000, would get zero. Well, lo and behold, that passed. So we tried to keep the good people that we had 2 years ago, might have been a little less expensive than now. Since then, we've lost some good people. We're trying to keep our force stability. That, yeah, they got the 5%, but we were trying to keep what we had, not spend a fortune on overtime trying to fill the spots that everybody left, because to be honest with you, you can make a wage adjustment and give me zero, and 1,000 people thought that was a cool idea. So people walked. Just, it was said earlier that we made an adjustment. We tried, but we did not, because there was an amendment on the floor that cut it to zero, that actually passed and went on the ballot as zero. Just, it was $22,000 then. So,
And then we lost 4 people.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
More
You've lost probably more than 4.
Well, I'll add another saying here, penny wise, a dollar foolish.
Absolutely.
This is crazy.
Absolutely.
We're beating a dead horse here. It's just- Come on.
I just wanted, we said we
Spend this money 1,000 times over.
We weren't successful before. That's all.
Okay. Laura, you had something, let's try to drive it forward though.
That's the whole point of what I'm going to say. I understand people are concerned about finances. We have 10,000 people in this town, just shy of 10,000 people. We have, I'm going to be generous and say we have 1,600 kids in the schools. We have no problem spending money on the schools. But when you look at the number of people we have in this town, and if somebody gets sick, if somebody gets hurt, if somebody has a heart attack, we need them.
Amen.
And we're quibbling over a small amount of money for people's lives. And we throw a ton of money at a small portion of this town throughout the year. Life is precious, and nobody should have to have somebody die because we don't have qualified people on our department. In this day and age, there is no excuse for that, and we're beating a dead horse to death.
The point of this is to get information, we're not making decisions.
We're not making a decision.
But we're still beating it to death. I mean, it's 8:30, it's
We
time.
haven't done anything.
Is there any other questions? I think we're,
Did you have anything, Jess?
The only thing I was gonna add was in terms of whether the chief has an incentive. I think the chief has an incentive to apply it based on the goals and things that are set, because I know it's supposed to be confidential, but people talk, and if anyone has, is working their asses off, and they feel that somebody who's not got the same raise that they did, they're gonna be unhappy. So you wanna talk about unhappy people, it's right there. So the chief has an incentive to apply it based on the standards that have been set.
I can assure you, in my 38 years in the fire service, I never kowtowed to anybody. And I'm not gonna be.
I wouldn't think so.
If someone's being a broomstick, they're gonna get a broomstick raise. I can guarantee you that. Thank you.
What else you got, Pat?
You could put broomstick in.
Lori walked me right up into this slide. I want to remind you guys,
There you go.
the school is 69% of our budget. The state education is 7%, which also goes to the school. County is only 6%, and the town is 18% of the town tax rate.
Insane.
Please. We really need a proposed budget passed this year. I'll beg if I have to, but we really need a proposed budget passed this year. So please,
We have to.
think about it and vote. I'll cry. I'll cry if you want me to. They're coming. No.
Well, this board did recommend the proposed budget for the town last year. The voters
Yes,
chose
and we
to not-
appreciate that.
to not.
We
And the police
appreciate
car.
that.
But it was the
We
it was
can
the
only do
voters.
so much.
Yeah.
It was a very tough year. A lot of things did not get done.
Yeah, can you come up? Sorry.
That slide needs to be shown
We gotta
at
get you a
the
mic, Jack.
deliberative
I
session.
think we're done. I'd like some closing remarks if I could.
Oh, yeah. Should be on the mailer.
You heard Benji at the beginning of this cycle that we wanted to have a cooperative season with the Finance Committee. We felt it was important. The only reason there's 2 people here tonight instead of the 5 people here tonight is because we figured out that proper notice was given for select board to show up. As a result, more than 2 is a meeting in one place. We didn't have it posted early enough, so, Benson and I won the lottery for tonight, so we're here. And I just want to say, I know from the board how we behaved this year, and all the review we did with the department heads is we really scrubbed the budgets, we understand the budget, and we're all taxpayers. And I think, you know, I'm very proud of the budget we have now, and I'm sure the rest of the select board are too. And we threw some stuff out, and we also identified some stuff that need to be put in. So if there are any extra questions you have, I'll be happy to try to field those before impact time, whatever you get done, so, which is coming up. So I'd be happy to do that, and I'll make sure I coordinate with the rest of the board on any answers I get. They wouldn't be my answers. So with that, thank you very much for having the patience tonight with us.
Thanks,
Thank
thank you for
you.
coming.
Yeah,
This-
you guys.
Thank you,
It's
department
been great to
heads.
have
For all coming
the
up.
ability to ask more questions and not make assumptions on our end, so it's great. Appreciate it, Jack.
That's a great job.
Thank you for having us.
The articles,
If you have any questions, you know where we are. Here.
Secretary?
on the articles, is this on the priority list at all, or is this in not, like, no specific order?
Give a second for
Yep.
the wash to go out. Can you ask the question again, Carrie?
For the all articles passed, are the, for the town budget, are they in like a priority listing, or are they just
This?
listed in a
Oh,
non?
no.
Okay.
no. There, it's arbitrary. There's no priority.
Okay.
They kind of match this list, I think. No, they don't. Some of these came in later,
Okay.
and I didn't
Added
put them
at the
in
bottom.
order.
Okay.
I might reorder this to match, but,
Okay.
or actually group by department to make it a little easier to find some of them, because there's so many. But no, there's no priority here at all. This assumes everything passes outright.
Thank you.
And this is up to date. The only thing I noticed is that the revenue number changed a little in the town, so my number doesn't reflect the same cost for the town proposed budget. Mine's a little higher because the revenues come in, they adjusted, so we're talking a couple $100. It's not-
Tom, did the
I'll
schools-
send an update out.
Did the schools put in any articles for capital reserve funds? There was some talk about that.
Not yet. No,
I don't think we know that until the public hearing.
They haven't settled on
tomorrow.
it.
Oh, I guess that's.
Well, the proposed budget is tomorrow. I don't know how much they're going into the warrant articles. Right, tomorrow night for Ware, and then the next night for John Starr. So yeah, the 14th is the Ware School public hearing, tomorrow night. No, this is what they gave us last meeting when Jackie Coe came in. And I checked with her today to ask if there were any changes or additions or scrubs, and she said no. I mean, you know, there's no guarantee the sprinklers, for example, they said that's a potential. And that number could actually drop, she said. Right now, they just put they put that number out there, but, so, I hope that it resolves, you know, I think after the hearing, we're gonna have everything settled, they said. But, so that we can make a determined vote. And the thing I wanna chime in for a second on this is, I like how Beth breaks up the pie and shows the percentage. The other side of that question, though, is that it all adds up. Every little thing adds up, and you get to a projected 14.5% increase in the tax rate if everything passes. So we have to decide, you know, do we want to recommend everything, nothing, or something in between? And so we have to prioritize what we think is the most important for the bang of the tax rate increase. A 14.5% increase is pretty hefty. It's bigger than last year, what the projected all-pass rate would have been. And again, this is estimated because revenues can change, you know, things can happen, but we've been in the ballpark of a percentage or two, this calculation against what the actual our recommendations against the actual tax rate have been pretty close, a couple percentage points, so. But, yeah, 14.5's a lot, that's a lot, and we gotta really think about it, you know, what we wanna do.
Am I reading this correct to say that if everything fails, the tax rate goes up by 0.5%?
That's what I
And if
calculate,
everything passes, the tax rate goes up by 14.2%?
right?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's 14.4 actually, 14.41.
I think that was the old one.
Is that the old one? Yeah, it went up a little, yeah, it went up a little bit because I didn't have the
Did you get
veterans. Yeah, this is a new one, sorry. I was gonna send an update out tomorrow after we heard everything tonight. So, the veterans tax
Are they-
credit was not in the original sheet.
All in fail?
I got it. 14.41 down here.
Yep.
All failed was in the email, but I didn't print
Okay.
it out, because it didn't change.
Fair.
The all pass changed, it went up 0.2%,
Okay.
because of the veterans tax credit. The addition of the 250 to 500 to 750, that money. So we have a meeting in 10 days on the 23rd, and we have to get, most of our voting has to be done by then, some of it tonight and by then possibly. We have to get the language together, and the 27th, 4 days later, is the deadline for the language, because the deliberative's coming up January 31st. So our next two meetings are the 23rd and the 27th. I think we need to use some of the time tonight, I know it's late, but to either, you know, vote on some of these, or at least deliberate and get close to a vote, be able to do it on the
When's
23rd.
the deliberation?
31st,
31st. So we have
And-
one more meeting at least until then.
we got two.
Two.
Friday the 23rd,
Okay.
and then,
So the
Tuesday.
21st, 23rd, and then the 31st is the deliberation?
Yep, there's nothing on the 21st.
But we also have the schools coming up too.
It's the 23rd. Yeah, so 23rd, 27th,
Oh,
and
got
we
it.
have to be done with language and voting by the 27th.
Thank you.
So that means voting should start tonight and finish on the 23rd. Lori, I'm sorry, the email that I sent out, by the way, I think Monday, well, a couple days ago, had all the dates in it.
Right.
Last email or two that I
You
sent.
said we should all attend the
Right, the
three
deliberatives, if, yeah,
deliberatives.
if you can make it, you should do it.
And
Especially
the-
if that's your subcommittee.
There's a town public hearing on the 19th.
Yes.
Yep.
And the public gets to weigh in and ask questions. And then the schools are tomorrow night and Thursday night, Ware and John Stark,
For the public hearing.
for the public hearings.
It's Thursday night?
tomorrow, where is John's?
I believe it's Thursday.
Where but John Stark?
Where is tomorrow night?
Thursday.
Friday night. God, I'm all mixed up on my days.
Tomorrow night's the
Start
public hearing.
is
Public hearing.
Thursday.
For Ware. Thursday night's public hearing for John Stark. The 19th is the public hearing for the town.
Maybe I missed something that you sent us, but there's nothing on this that shows the percentage increase between 2025, the default, and proposed.
Yeah, that's not on this sheet.
Did I miss something? Did you
No.
find something?
Well, yeah, I sent out an Excel spreadsheet today with the two PDFs in that Excel spreadsheet. If you open that up, there's a table in there that shows the percentage increases.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay, just a copy.
If you want, I can screenshot that. If you're not, are you comfortable opening up Excel and finding it? If I tell you where it is?
I can find it if it was there. I thought I had looked at all of them, but I must have missed it.
Okay. Yeah, in the Excel, there's a raw data tab, and it has all the warrant articles and then all of their statistics and information, and there's a comments on the far right. And I put in there % over default, % over last year's past.
Thank you.
On the different articles, so. It doesn't make its way onto this sheet, it's just a summary sheet to really aggregate up the potential new tax rate if everything passes.
don't know. Okay, let's get started.
I guess, yeah, I mean, I mean, it'd be nice if we could find some that are just no-brainers that everybody, you know, a majority or everybody will vote on, and get some of these out of the way. And some of them are gonna take some deliberation on our part, so.
Why don't we start from the bottom up?
Which page?
That's actually
All
gonna think.
articles are all, whichever.
They're not in order, so.
Oh, they're not in the same, yeah, they're in the same.
The bottom up from what, this sheet, Neil?
No, are you
Yeah,
talking?
the gray
Okay.
sheet,
The
Laurie.
proposed,
Yep,
all articles pass. So the first thing we'd be doing is fireworks.
fireworks.
No,
No, you don't want to do it when you're voting, though.
no, I don't see the point of why we're paying for fireworks. We have a committee that can raise money to do that.
And they did it last year.
Just so you know, like, I can't sit here
What
till
are-
10 o'clock tonight, I have to be in Boston at 7 in the
Okay.
morning tomorrow, so
You
I'm
gotta
not
leave.
sitting here all night.
He wants you to stay awake.
The reason I made the suggestion is that I think we probably can reach more consensus on the warrant articles before we go directly to the town budget and directly to the school budget. We can't do the school warrant articles because I don't think we know them all.
Nope,
They're
No,
not
we
ready
don't.
yet. But the town's warrant articles seem to be ready.
right.
So I'm just saying no to fireworks. That's my opinion.
That's kinda how it went last year, and this board is 99% the same as last year. I don't know if anybody has any.
I think we could just vote on it
Yeah.
and see if
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that the committee vote to recommend the fireworks warrant article for $10,000. All those in favor of recommending,
I'll second.
oh, I'm sorry, Jessica second, I'm rushing. All those in favor of recommending the fireworks, raise your hand or say aye. All those opposed? Okay, so that motion failed. The motion next will be to not recommend the fireworks for $10,000.
Second.
Lori second. All those in favor of
Whoa,
not?
how about some discussion?
Up discussion, I'm sorry.
I point out to folks that this is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America's birth.
I'll be in Washington.
It's more optimism to raise money privately. More optimism to raise money privately.
Well, I do.
There you go.
No, point made.
She said-
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of
Wait,
not?
who seconded?
Oh,
Lori.
Lori. All those in favor of not recommending the fireworks article for $10,000, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries to not
More
recommend.
optimism to be able to raise it.
You got one.
All right.
I think the portable ventilator is a safe one for voting on. Quick discussion.
Do you think so?
Okay.
Want to go up just in order?
I mean,
The change to veterans credit, I mean, it might be a discussion, especially if they still don't know if they're gonna break off.
I think we're going off of this list, not this list.
Oh.
We're going to this one next.
Oh,
I
No,
think
that's
we're
not,
going
that's
down
not what
this
Neil
one.
was saying, but,
Oh,
yeah,
I thought we
Oh.
were
Suggesting this list, yeah.
sorry.
that's okay.
No worries.
No problem, no problem.
No, you're right.
We're
We should
all
skip-
friends.
We should skip the
The
veterans.
veterans
credit.
one has still got an
Yeah.
open issue, could be two articles.
Yeah.
We could end up having to vote on two separate ones. All right, Forrester contract,
that's a no-brainer.
No tax.
anybody have an issue if I make a motion? Nobody?
I move that we approve the Forrester contract.
Second.
Second. We're recommending. we're not approving yet.
Recommending
We're
Forrester
recommending.
contract.
Yep. There's no tax impact. I'll second. All those in favor of recommending the Forrester contract, say yes or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries 11-0. Fireworks went 0-11. This one's 11-0. Okay, Cypress Cemetery improvements. This is coming out of the Cypress Fund, no tax impact.
You want to make the motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we, as a committee, we recommend the Cypress Cemetery improvement article for no tax impact.
Second.
It's for $35,000, by the way. Lori, second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of recommending the Cypress Cemetery improvement count, say yes or aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 11-0. Okay. Assistant director full-time, that should be, that's library. I'll change that name to make it more clear. The head of the library came in, last meeting and, talked about this. And this is the cost for, the 9 months. The number would be higher, in the future within the operating budget. I don't have the number in front of me, but, this is just the 9 months. I'll make, is there any before I make a motion, is there any discussion on this? Anybody have any?
Why don't we have the discussion after the motion?
Okay, can do that.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Well,
Do it anyway.
yeah, that was along the lines of like Carrie a few minutes ago said, maybe we shouldn't vote on this, so I was kinda, anybody have any qualms about going forward with this
Does
one?
anyone, because I still remember the discussions, and I think we're probably gonna, there's gonna be some people that vote for it, some people that don't. But is there anyone that has any open questions or concerns from the last discussion? I think we just vote.
Do we know what the impact is over 12 months?
What?
Yeah,
So this is 9 months, right, 26,000?
This is the additional cost for 9 months.
yeah, this is over the salary that they're getting now.
It's
38
the
or something.
benefits for,
It's the benefits.
the employee's working almost full-time, so they would get just a couple more hours to take them over to the full-time and then get benefits.
Yeah, the whole
And this is
point
the
of this.
maximum amount of benefits possible, so it's not a guarantee of that's gonna be how much it is.
Right, but the whole point of this was they wanted to give this person benefits.
Correct.
Which
Absolutely.
I'm not a fan.
Full-time, you work full-time, you get benefits. It's a human right.
One of the facts that, at least as I understand it, is that this person is supposed to be the acting director, so if the director were unavailable, this person would step in. But it's my understanding that this person hasn't participated in budgeting, which is of course one of the key responsibilities of the director. This is a small town, and I think everybody's heard what's really happened.
Can you share openly? Because I don't think I've heard.
I think the insinuation is that they're only bringing this director up,
For the
For-
benefits.
well, it's being done for a particular person, not for just like a general. The director said that that wasn't the case, but
It
it
is.
seems under the fray that that's what the situation is. That's the insinuation Neil was making.
Well, it would seem like if it was not about the person, that if you created a full-time position, you would open it up for not only people who currently are working part-time in the library, but others, and I believe the library director said no. Just
It was, yeah.
keep it in-house, so that makes it more a
Promotion.
person-related issue as opposed to a position-related issue. And the gentleman that came in and spoke about it as well, the library director, did say there are, in fairness, there are many other libraries, they have assistants, so when the library director is not here, that person assumes those responsibilities. But still, there's this pervading, not a cloud, but just that, the feeling I have is that it's more directed for the person
He
and
did-
not the physician.
He didn't sell the benefits of the expense.
Yeah, bang for the buck
Right.
is not really, I don't see it.
I didn't see it.
Well, this is the second time it's come up. It
Yes, it
crashed
has.
and burned before. The other thing is, when we're looking at these things, and I know we're all gonna have opinions on these different articles, there's a lot of money on the table being tossed out this year. There's a lot of money that people want. And we're gonna have to really look at this and say, what is needed? Not, oh, would I like to give this to somebody? It's gotta come down to hard, cold, what is necessary, because the taxpayers cannot afford all this stuff. So we have to be a lot more realistic when we're looking at this stuff.
Raise a question,
Does that mean-
vote.
Oh.
I
thought you
move
had a
that
question.
No.
Well,
We have to
do
have a
we
motion
want to
first.
vote on it?
I move to recommend the assistant director full-time for the library.
I'll second.
Any discussion, any more discussion? Okay.
I was gonna, I'm gonna abstain because I have been part of those discussions as a library alternate.
Okay.
I didn't vote on it, but I
Library
was part of
trustees.
those discussions, so I'm gonna say somehow.
Okay. All right, all those in favor of recommending the assistant director full-time for the library, say yes or aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's two, is that two?
Yep.
Okay, all those opposed? Okay, so that is,
That fails.
2-8-1, right? You abstain?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, do we do
And
the
all
reverse
those,
vote?
okay, so I'll make a motion that we not recommend, they gotta go the other way. I motion that we not recommend the assistant director full-time for the library.
Second.
Second by Lori. All those in favor of not recommending the assistant director full-time for the library, say yes or aye.
Aye.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, same thing. All those opposed?
Aye.
And abstain, so 8-2-1. Okay. Not going in order for second, are there any other ones that are just slam dunks that anybody wants to make a motion
Road
on?
reconstruction?
Yep,
Plow truck,
Ventilator.
cruiser.
Let's go in order, guys.
okay, we can,
That's fine.
unless,
What
to
is
the-
the percent
up
on
to
the
the committee.
raises, do you know, Tom? What percentage
I
are
was
they
just looking for
getting?
that, I don't have the number off the top of my head.
Naomi, do you know?
That-
The percentage for the non-union raises?
I think it was 3%, but I don't know.
I wasn't here for December. I don't know what you guys decided on. I know it's a pool, we didn't do our evaluations.
Yeah,
So this is
Doesn't
the,
have-
Wasn't across the board.
this is priority number 3
There was a
on the,
pool created based on evaluations, and that's how they'd be dispersed, but I don't know how. I don't know if it was a specific percentage, or if it was based on what you got for your evaluation and it was calculated.
Neil, what's cost of living and what's social security?
2.8, yeah.
So is it higher than that?
It's not in the,
If it's higher,
CIP.
No, I'm not sure on that. Sorry.
If we don't know, we should.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
we should hold
we
off
gotta
on
hold
it
off
if we
because
don't
if
know.
it's higher than
Right.
what everybody else is getting in the real world, there's a problem with it.
That gave me the language in the warrant article, draft warrant article language. Let me see if I can find
I
it.
have the CBA,
I just keep quiet.
5%.
As high as the what?
Not as high as CBA, which is 5%.
Solar array?
Seems like a no-brainer.
Do we feel comfortable with what, you know,
I think, I move
to make a vote now on that? Yeah.
I move that we recommend the solar array on the safety complex.
Second.
Neil? All those in favor of recommending the solar array on the safety complex, say yes or aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Abstain, okay. Was, any opposed?
Liz, are you abstaining for some?
I abstain because I am on the Energy Commission.
Oh.
Thank you.
That's a good reason.
Mr. Chairman,
So that motion passes 10-0-1, sorry, no.
our blurb writer is here, but he's not getting much information.
Am I writing the blurbs for the town?
Yes.
I didn't do that.
You didn't?
No, I
Who
didn't.
did?
No, I did, but I'm not on the town committee this year.
Oh,
Who's on the town subcommittee?
Me,
Somebody,
I'm the only one that wants.
somebody on that subcommittee should be writing the
I
blurbs,
can take
ideally.
a stab at it.
We'll go over them as a group and.
Well, you
Yeah.
ask questions
Yeah, I
at
can
those
have
meetings,
like
that's
some
the whole point
blurbs
of that.
by next meeting.
That's probably a good idea, because I'm not gonna be here.
Bill's gone next year.
I'm going next year, so this is a good chance to.
We
You
can't,
always be in the audience.
Someone, I can also
Subcontract?
be sitting at home and watching. I don't think I'm gonna come down and sit in the audience.
They're hosting viewing parties is what I hear.
yeah, we can't lean on one person for 3 years to do that. That's why I took
So
on,
are you gonna?
I'll
We
do
never-
it.
From last year.
we sat on you for 9, it worked great so far.
okay.
I'm not gonna be here.
If you get stuck or you want a second set of eyes, let me know.
Yep. I'll have a blurb for the ones that we've approved and failed, and then have that for the next meeting, and then we can, just like what we did before and kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have had the recommendation language, if it passed for recommendation, and then a minority, either way, we had a minority report in both directions.
Yep.
If we want to keep doing that, we
Yeah,
can.
'cause we would say like on the library, there were eight against the two, and kind of the 8 that said no was more person-related than position, but the 2 who said yes, that should be in there, why you said yes, and I don't, we didn't really discuss why, but you were one of the 2, so you can probably have no problem.
There you go.
I think if you voted in the minority on any article, you want to remember that you did that and why.
Yep.
So that you could contribute, you may not be able to contribute the minority
Right.
report.
Absolutely. But I can at least put in something, and then we can tailor it
Yeah,
as
the
needed.
general
so.
sense, and then if people in the minority want to add on to that, then they should. It's
Absolutely.
up to them, for context.
Next.
So, yeah, so the library, the library was the one that we've had a mix on the
Great.
votes, right? Wasn't unanimous, so.
Did you want me to provide my feedback now or wait until the blurbs come out and then? Because my primary vote was based on looking at retention and the cost of replacement of a position that would cost more than $26,000 to replace any baseline position based on minimum wage and full-time hours.
That's
would
for the
cost-
library?
Yes,
Okay.
would cost more than $26,000 per annum if we were to consider any hike, and understanding that that's just the adjustment based on the benefits package. Still, when we
But
look at the full package
retention-
of retention, vacancy rates,
The cost of hiring
yeah,
from outside.
Exactly, that is literally
Right.
my purpose for the vote, I was looking at that.
I'm gonna go against Neil's wishes right now. I'm gonna make a motion for the committee to recommend the road reconstruction article for $416,000.
Second.
Lori, any discussion on that?
Which one is it?
Road reconstruction, I went up a few.
Okay. The 416,000. Okay.
Any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor of having the committee recommend the road reconstruction?
A little bit of discussion.
Go for it.
I agree that we need to do this, but we all need to recommend, to realize that this is a substantial increase in what we've done in the past.
Right.
And it's part of a continuing set of increases that will be going into the future. We need to raise $3 million in a bond, and if we're retain the value of the improvements we've made, it's going to cost more money.
Which year is this? Year number 4 into the bond?
I don't remember. It could
Jason,
Yeah.
where are we in the bond?
Started in 19.
Oh, and the payback of the
All the
bond?
money's gone from it.
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, it was
2019 was when it passed.
So where are we? Year 7?
And I think we need to be candid with voters that this is not just a one-time increase. This is part of a step increase
Right.
that's necessary to preserve this very valuable asset
I think there
that
was,
we've already invested $3 million in, among other things.
Yeah.
Recently, obviously,
Yeah.
we've tens of millions of dollars in roads.
Yeah, the point is that if you let the road deteriorate to the point where it's, has to be torn up, then you're spending huge amounts of money. And this is good money spent to get the most bang for the buck, where you get them before they have to be torn up and totally reconstructed.
Don't
So
accept
if you-
any
if
more
you
new
cut-
roads.
If you cut this one, if you cut this amount down, like it just, if voters say no, you're down to $200 and some thousand dollars, you're not gonna get much for that. So,
That won't happen.
so you wanna keep up to make that bond really, get the most out of the bond, what the bond is.
That's an important point that Bill just raised, and let's make sure he's right on that. If this article is voted down, the only money that we would spend is the money the state gives us.
right.
I think that's right.
Yeah, that is right. That's
And that would be half of what we've been spending in past years.
less than half.
They'd have roads like you and I have.
It's like,
That were previously paved.
Never paved.
No, I'm saying those would all be the same. The ones that were paved would now be like unpaved.
Any other discussion? Okay, so all those in favor of the committee recommending the road reconstruction article, say yes.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye,
You opposed?
I do.
Okay. That's 10-1-0. Passes, the motion passed.
What?
Do you have anything you want to add to?
Give a reason that we can.
I don't know if
microphone.
there's other funds available from a federal level, to allow for reconstruction. And so I'd rather look at federal funds allocated versus local and deferred maintenance.
There aren't
Okay, so
any.
Mary thinks that
Us.
we should be looking for other sources of revenue for this, right? Fair? And Carrie, too, if you can go back to the recording if you need to review any of this, if your hand gets tired. Okay.
How do we do the cruiser, go back in order?
We can. No, that's not the next one in order. We're a raise for the
Oh, sorry,
non-union
yeah.
employees.
Well, we did the solar raise, isn't cruiser next?
We did, but we skipped raises for non-union employees.
Because we don't know.
Oh, we're gonna we're deferring, I'm sorry. Yep, that gets us to the cruiser.
Can you make a motion for the cruiser?
You can make a
please?
motion if you like.
I never get the words right.
I recommend
I recommend,
article.
Make a motion that the
make a
committee.
motion that the committee recommend police cruiser. We desperately need one.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Any discussion?
This did get cut down just in the past week, a little bit more. We recommended this last year and it failed by the voters. So, again, not the same year, and we're mostly the same people, but just making the point.
This seems like another area where we're gonna spend good money after bad, repairing old vehicles that have no, future value. So it's just a bad investment. We should be invested in cruisers that are gonna last a few years.
Well, and the other thing is we're looking for Tahoes, and we've got those crazy, do you call them sedans? Is that what they are?
No, Dodge Chargers.
Which is totally useless for the terrain we've got.
Yeah, it's a bad choice for.
Quick confirmation that with the police cruiser being not funded last year, we're 1 year behind because we were supposed to, 2 years behind now. And this is priority number 6 for the town.
High maintenance costs on the
Keep
Chargers.
blowing the budget on
They're becoming obsolete.
I would love to see the end of the Chargers, personally. Any other discussion? We're in a motion, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, no more discussion, I see. Then all those in favor of the committee recommending the cruiser replacement article, say yes or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Any abstain? No. Any abstain? 10-1-0. Liz, you have anything you want to add?
I just don't think it's necessary.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
That's good?
Just a quick follow-up on that question, just for understanding, the police made it that the CPI is to replace one vehicle, CIP, every
year.
one per year. Do you believe that's not accurate and we could stretch that out farther, or do you think we'd need less number of vehicles where we could take one down, just to try to understand the logic a little bit more?
So I believe that there's a lot of federal restructuring that's occurring right now when it comes to the budget, and there's redistribution of assets that perhaps would provide opportunities for the police force to yield other assets elsewhere, outside from the town's budget.
So different income coming in to offset the vehicles that they need?
My understanding is that they were able to fundraise the prior purchase of their last Tahoe, so I don't see why they can't do that again.
No,
No, it wasn't a fundraise.
no,
They
it-
apply for a
Calling
grant.
taxes a fundraiser now?
I believe a grant
It
is a
was a grant.
fundraise. I think if you can get resources, which is what assets are, which is money, money is a resource. And we accumulate resources over time by doing other things in exchange for resources. So whether that be an application for a grant, you get awarded the resource, and with those resources, you purchase said asset. And in this case, it was a cruiser.
but there
And so I
aren't
think
any
they can do that
grants
again.
open for them to apply for. The federal government is not opening up more grants to be handing down to the state to get things like this.
That is based on this moment today. That could change tomorrow.
So do you
So-
believe they need
So the
the,
money that Trump is holding from childcare, he's going to put into police cruisers?
I can't speak to that. I'm not on Trump's administration.
Well, it's not gonna happen.
so Liz, you believe that they need as many police cruisers that they're slating for, correct? Like, you don't
Seem to be
think,
doing fine.
so,
God, I hope you don't need one in an emergency.
Let's hope not.
Did you hear the $11,000 repair bill?
I did, yeah. So I still think that he was able to yield grant funds to be able to purchase a cruiser last year, and I do believe that that's an opportunity for him to continue to submit on behalf of the
There have to be
agency
grants
for additional
available.
assets that would not take away from
That's
our
her opinion.
budget.
Let her talk, let her speak.
That's her position, and that's what Harry needs to know.
can you just
Yeah,
rephrase
yeah,
that
not
in
arguing
one
it.
sentence?
Okay. We've already
Just to
voted.
make sure that I have it right?
What part?
Just rephrase your position in one sentence. I'm afraid of adding
No, resources may be available elsewhere.
new resources?
Any resource.
Other
Okay,
resources.
other resources.
Other resources, any resources for the purchase of a cruiser may be available elsewhere. Period.
Thank you.
Okay, what's next?
Where'd the cruiser go to? There it is. Part-time, full-time. This is the highway department, right?
So I'm gonna just give a little update. The sheet that I have here, based upon things that we have voted to recommend, I can calculate where the tax rate, we talked about 14.5 at the worst case, 0.5 at the lowest case. We're now up to 4.85. So we're not even talking about schools, not even talking about town budgets. We're gonna recommend 4.85% increase in the tax rate. So
Okay.
just the tally along the way.
That's a good
You
update.
and-
Yes.
That's why the spreadsheet is important.
Part-time to full-time? That's where they wanna hire somebody to do maintenance and highway department stuff?
Yeah,
It's
the
DPW,
part-time driver to maintenance.
yeah.
Driver maintenance.
Driver handyman.
Yeah, I'll add that on the description here. It's not clear. It doesn't say DPW, it should.
Thank you.
Okay. So we wanna go down that?
Sure, that's a good rabbit hole. Well, you wanna get to work tomorrow, right?
Me too, I don't wanna be here till 10 o'clock tonight.
None of us.
I motion,
For my other job.
we
We'll have a long
recommend
meeting the next one if we don't do some of it now.
the
We ordered pizza.
DPW
I'd rather
part-time to
talk to
full-time.
It's a
Second.
Friday, it's a Friday,
What
Mariah.
did you say?
Okay, hold on.
To approve the part-time to full-time on the
Got a
DPW.
motion?
I
motion.
second it.
Second, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're in charge, That's you in charge.
We're gonna come back and revisit these, aren't we?
We can.
We
If
can,
committee
but
votes-
then we have
decides
to vote to reopen.
Yep.
This one I'm not sure about. Do we know how much maintenance money we're saving by having the handyman? Like, how much work is there? How much they're spending?
It sounded like it was hard to determine because they had like 2 hours budgeted per month, but it also sounded like there's a whole list of things that they would like to have done. So it's a little hard to
And it
come up
will,
with a number that we're saving by having somebody because they'd actually be doing more than just the 2 hours, I think.
yeah. And it could prevent a future hiring of a handyman, right?
You can't seem to keep those anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we previously hired one, but,
Now, is the 38,000 an entire year?
That's
9 months.
9 months.
It's
Beth, Beth gave you guys a number earlier,
Yeah.
65, yeah.
Right.
The warrant article will say that, I believe.
Yeah.
This is an article, I'll be very upfront, I'd like to revisit when we get all the tax information in. Right now, I'd be a yes, but depending upon where our tax rate comes in, it might be something that I'm gonna step back on.
So do you just wanna skip it and go to the next one for tonight?
I-
I mean, we
That'd
just
be
learned
fine.
about it tonight.
I'll throw
Yeah.
in 2 cents worth, but it would be good to have, but where we're looking at where it isn't a priority in the pecking order. I think it's a nice to have, it would be a benefit. However, we got 2 things working here. We've got things that we have to have.
Yep.
And things that it would be nice to have, but I'm sure you're still gonna, even if you have a maintenance guy, it's still gonna be contracting out for some services that the maintenance guy is not qualified to handle, so you're probably it's not gonna be a 1-for-1. The other thing in the background is, and it's apples and oranges, library part-time to full-time,
Yep.
and the DPW part-time to full-time. But I'd say they're apples and oranges because the DPW has a maintenance benefit. I can see
But
where
it's
that
the optics.
translates. But the optics of yes to one and no to another, and where we're looking at where can we make some cuts to try and bring the tax rate down, that's why I would be at a no in this case.
Because I want to make sure we get a plow truck. That to me is a bigger ticket.
Well, that's still
That
coming.
should be-
Yeah, oh yeah.
That should be explainable, though, in our position.
Correct. That's
Because
right.
that, you can see the warranted positions and goods that will physically be
start-
done.
Part of it may be it would be beneficial, however, in this particular year with the
The
size
big
of
tickets for the plow
increase in
truck and
people's
things, yeah.
taxes, it's one that
Yeah.
we'll put aside for now. We've been getting along without it, and we'll continue to try and get along without it. especially-
Good point.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got some
so-
big tickets coming in.
Go ahead.
So this is a completely separate item, this is not just coming out of the DPW's budget. It'd be kinda unfair for the DPW to have to pay for the whole thing, even though the fire chief wants to use them for 7 jobs and the police chief wants to use them. So why isn't this more of a town budget than a DPW
That was the
budget?
handyman that we had.
Wouldn't that be something for the department head to, in this case, Jason, to worry about that?
It's
Yeah,
the same
so
thi-
what-
it's the
Jason
same
have to
thing
pay
with our
for it.
mechanic. Mechanic does work across town, no matter what, his payroll comes out of the highway.
Yeah.
That doesn't,
If you got one,
I have
public
a
works
question.
makes sense, yeah.
So it's part-time to full-time. How many hours is it now and how many hours will it be when it's full-time?
I think we have about 20 hours a week for that 6 months in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Is what it's budgeted for right now.
So
And
it
then
would
we
go
just-
up to 40 or
40,
thereabouts?
yep, 40 for a full-time position.
So that's one
year-round,
more-
as
But
opposed
that's
to
year-round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why.
So it's going-
But it's a big difference, whereas like the library position was half an hour,
They were already full-time.
Yeah.
so.
You're getting 3/4 of a person.
Yeah.
The shift here from part to full is an additional 3/4 of a person.
Sure.
Right now, he's only working 20 hours half the year.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna be working 40 hours all day. That's,
I just realized I didn't know what the
Well,
job
there
was.
also isn't a person. Jason's gonna be hiring a person. There isn't a person that he's trying to bump up here,
Right.
right?
So it's open.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
but I have to agree with Bill on this. I mean, we've got some big ticket stuff coming down the pike. There's a lot of stuff on this list. And the taxpayers cannot afford, just because everybody thinks it's nice, all this stuff.
yeah, and like we said, if the committee wants to reopen an issue for voting later, when we go, oh boy, we really, we bit off more than we could chew here, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
happens,
like we're gonna-
happened last year. You could vote on this now and, run the risk of not opening it later, or opening it, whatever, either way.
Yeah.
Tom,
It's up, it's,
what I thought we did in the past, and I thought the understanding was, we don't have to have a formal vote on the question of reopen. Once we've completed our work, if somebody wants to go back and revisit something, we do that.
We voted on it last year. We voted to reopen, and then we voted on it again.
I don't.
Because one person may say,
That's fair enough.
I really want to give this, I really want to make this happen, right? And 10 people say, no,
It's
this is
closed.
crazy. This is, it's a done deal.
In essence, you voted on it.
And-
Right,
yeah.
okay, at that point.
But if enough people realize that we didn't have the right information, or we've changed our minds, or whatever,
Yeah.
it could be reopened. I mean,
Hey, a quick question, Tom, and Neil, to your point, in terms of this position, is this moving an existing person from part-time to
No.
full-time?
No.
Or
no,
hiring
you have to hire
a
somebody.
full-time position in the DPW for $38,838?
No. That's the additional cost. The full cost is 64 or
Okay.
whatever it is, thousand.
It's a budget.
And it's
budget.
it's a brand new position, currently unfilled, obviously. There is a part-time position they have. They would eliminate that part-time position and have a brand-new full-time employee who would do two things. 20 hours in the winter of driving that the current part-time person is doing, plus the rest of his full-time job in maintenance and/or driving or whatever else Jason wants to use the fellow for.
So that would be measurable productivity with those additional, let's say, 20 hours, where they would be cleaning roads quicker, or sanding, or
Definitely.
maintenance on particular vehicles or such, that could be measured based on productivity and not sunken cost. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, there's definitely, you're getting value for your money with this position. The question is whether or not you can afford it.
I see. Do we understand what that value is? Do we have a measure of what that return on investment would be based on those hours of 20 hours and full position of what we would have if we had a contract out for those additional 20 hours?
I have no idea.
That's what I wanted to know as well, kind of what I was trying to ask. Sounds like maybe we don't know.
It didn't sound like there was a lot of contract hours that are from this year, so.
Do we have prior years to measure that?
$30,000 real quick.
I'm just trying to understand the data so I can vote accordingly.
I don't think the data exists.
I see.
We had a handyman in the past too, for a couple, for some years. We had
So what would we be waiting for to potentially reopen? I'm just trying to understand.
What would, again?
What would happen that would cause for a reopen of a vote if we haven't historically had the data? So what could change from now until whatever
Nothing.
happens next?
potentially, or, yeah, if nothing changes, then people might not want to reopen it.
Understood.
It's really up to the committee, I think. And I'm just going on what we decided last year. The committee wants to go on a different path, and the majority agrees, then we can do that, but
Always do it, right?
we don't have a written constitution.
We also don't need to vote on this right now, we can wait until next time.
We can.
No.
Well, we had a lot of discussion, we might as well have a vote.
I think we should have a vote to figure out where we're at.
Yes.
We're not in a motion, right?
We've already got a motion.
We have a motion
So
open.
call for
so-
the vote.
It was, Carrie moved to recommend. Was seconded.
Move to recommend, right, okay. All right, all those in favor of, having the committee recommend DPW part-time to full-time position, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, 3, 4. All those opposed? Any abstain? You're
I don't know how I feel after the discussion, so I'm
Okay.
abstaining.
Neil, are you doing the same?
No.
Oh, you had,
He's-
you left your hand up for the abstention, so, it's okay.
So what was
Got
our
stuck
vote
there.
total?
It was
461.
6-1.
4 yes, 6 no's?
Yep.
Correct.
Thank you.
So
So we'll
not-
have to
To
revisit.
recommend, now we have to vote to not recommend. All those in favor of not recommending the
We have
part.
to do a motion first.
Oh,
Do we
I'm
want to,
sorry.
since it was almost like 50/50, do we just want to wait until the next meeting to, you know,
We
let,
can, we
finish
have to
the
finish
vote.
it
We
out.
gotta
Okay.
finish the vote.
Fair.
Well, it's a non-decision right now.
Right.
We could leave it as a non-decision, or we could just
I-
finish the vote.
No, let's finish the vote.
Let's
We
just
can
finish
reopen it later.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that the committee not recommend the part-time to full-time DPW
Second.
position. Lori seconds. All those in favor of not recommending, raise your hand, say aye. Should be 6 again. Okay, no, opposed?
Still 4.
spot? You coming out of
I
abstention?
am.
Okay.
Force
Opposed?
my hand.
5-0. Okay. So not recommend, goes 6-5-0.
Ooh, the scales.
I'll try going. Oh, we going in, I'm sorry, we're going in.
Got the scale
Yeah,
first.
that's the next one, road reconstruction, we already voted on.
So,
Transfer station
Transfer
scale.
station.
We're all over the place. We haven't done the project.
Nope.
I move to recommend the transfer station scale.
second.
Any discussion?
Lori, were you the second?
I have a second.
All those in favor of the committee recommending the transfer station scale, say yes or aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all opposed? Okay, that's 11-0-0.
Ooh, plow truck. I make a motion, the committee recommend. Oh, we
Quick
gotta-
discussion. On the
didn't we
plow
vote
truck.
on it? Yeah,
We can make a motion
Well, we'll make a
first, yeah.
motion
We can make a
first. She's
motion
making the
first.
motion.
Okay, sorry.
I make a motion, the committee recommend the 10-wheel plow truck.
Second.
Maria, second. Discussion.
10 plow truck, so the last, how many years hasn't been approved?
It was one, it was last year, we did not recommend it last year.
Right.
But we
The year before,
We
one.
use the term, I use the term pause, which is not a good, it's, but that's what we were really doing, saying, we were looking at the total costs, and on balance, we said, we'll squeeze another year. However, 1 year should not turn into 2 years, because this is gonna replace a truck that,
It's a
will likely not,
2008?
it's
2008?
old, it's a 10-wheel Volvo that the bed is falling apart. And if it,
I don't know.
even if it doesn't get done, and that, you try to keep that truck in service, and correct me if I'm wrong, Public Works Director's here, probably gonna have to spend a good money to replace the whole bed.
When does, if we vote for this and the order goes in, we don't get the truck for what, 2 years or something?
I think it's quicker now, the turnaround.
A year. A
Yeah,
year?
he said a year, yeah.
Yeah, but this is one, it's the old adage, it's, we can look at even comments we've made and recommendations in the past, there's a big gap where we went through about 5 or 6 years in
Yeah,
a row.
long time.
In the teens. where we didn't get a truck. What was that?
2020 as well.
20, and it was the year 2020 and then last year, yeah, so, the newer trucks, they come through, they've got an improved bed on them, than the older trucks, but this is definitely a priority.
No, you're right.
Jason, in addition to the 10-wheeler being aging, do you still have 11 individuals and only 10 vehicles?
No, we have full staff and a full
Okay.
fleet at the moment. Well, yeah, we have full staff. Both of our 1-tons are in the shop, but we have all the vehicles.
What are the 1-tons, or is that a 10?
5500s. We have 11 big trucks, 2 5500s.
Oh. And 2 of them are in the shop?
Yeah.
Bill's right, though, we need the plow truck, it's like a cruiser. You
Yep.
can't get anything done in this town if you don't have roads. You can't have roads if you don't have the trucks. And the fact of the matter is, if anybody has taken the time to go down and look at the highway department vehicles and study damage that has been done to these vehicles, I mean, salt is murderous to these vehicles, no matter how well you get protective lining for them. Sand, plowing is a bear on these vehicles. They take a lot of wear and tear, and we have an old fleet, so we can't, it's like the cruiser, you cannot not have this, because in an emergency, you gotta have roads.
Amen.
So a logistical question, so if this gets approved, will we have the staff to actually operate a full fleet, or is the part-time to full-time necessary?
No, we have the staff.
We have the staff.
We have the staff, we're fully, we have enough drivers for these trucks.
Full-time positions run dump trucks as of right now. The part-time position runs one of the 1-tons that does parking lots. So that's that part-time position. So all 11 major routes in town are covered So that part-time position just covers parking lots. I know I told you guys last time that the body on this truck was failing and it's not good and bad things are coming down the turnpike.
So
Bill,
are we looking at a $50,000 replacement for that?
that's what it would cost. I'm not gonna put $50,000 into that truck, but I just need you guys to understand
And
how
then we
big
would
of a
be
bill
down.
that is. Yeah.
This new
But to
truck
put a
replaces an old
$50,000
one.
body on
Oh,
something
right,
that's
right.
already
Yeah.
shot is
But then
That-
we would be down.
Like I said, that body is failing. It's
Big
not
time.
gonna be good. I know Bill came down last week and the back corner of the bed is
It's bad.
sagging
It's on an angle.
incredibly. It's borderline unsafe to go down the road at the moment. So
And if
definitely
you're putting
pushing this back is not
in
feasible.
these vehicles need to be safe for our drivers too.
Also.
Drivers and people on the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think a lawsuit, if something were to happen to a driver on one of our vehicles, that could cost us significantly more than the cost of a plow truck.
All right. Any other discussion?
Call the question?
Okay, all those in favor of the committee recommending the new 10-wheel plow truck, say yes or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Neil, were you a aye or?
I'm an aye.
I'm an aye, you're an aye. Unanimous, 11-0-0. I think I'll just have everybody raise their hand next time. Didn't hear Neil.
Do we want to, we're going through them anyway.
I move
Go
to
ahead.
recommend adopting the pay scale. This is for the
What is
fire.
pay scale? Is that
That's
the fire?
the
Fire.
fire. Yep.
So it's a warrant article.
Yes,
It is, yeah. It's new.
has been.
Yeah, 15,000.
Second her recommendation or motion.
Lori seconds.
Wait, sorry, who moved?
Carrie,
I did.
Oh, yeah, there it is, I see it.
Okay.
Lori second.
any discussion?
This is something that just should be done, right? It makes sense that people with more skills should be compensated better. And there should be differentiation, and it really is an anti-incentive to not have it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and we talked about the chief could do whatever he wants, but he, you know, those comments came up, but he can also withhold somebody who's not performing the, what do you
Sure.
call it, a broomstick. You know, right now, everybody's gonna get the COLA, but it's really wishy-washy right now too. I think it's a little undefined. I can't believe that we've had a pay scale and have never implemented it before. But now we're at that point, I guess, so. I mean, there was a transition from the fire awards to the selectmen, so that caused some of that, but, it's a good opportunity for us to weigh in, so.
No, I was convinced by the fire chief's argument. If we're only talking a penny, I know a penny here, a penny there, but we're only talking 8 employees, I believe, that would be in the wage scale. So the bang for the buck is that it creates an incentive to retain those people in a category of people who are very hard to retain. So it's an open.
And it also comes down to, you gotta trust the people you hired. And he's done a great job since he's been here, and if you don't trust your department heads, that says a lot about what's going on, and
Yeah.
And it will be completely visual, right,
Yes.
in the town budget, so
Yep.
no way to sweep it under the rug.
Well, the board of selectmen will have the say on changing it if it changes.
Right.
That's our representation.
I can't support this. This means that every firefighter is going to get a 6% increase every year.
No.
Yes.
If the COLA
That's
passes.
the way it works.
No,
The
if the
teacher's contract.
If the COLA passes, it'll
Yes,
compound,
correct.
which is a separate article usually. It's not an automatic,
But unless somebody were to move on the floor to make the COLA only applicable to town employees other than firefighters, it's a 6% increase.
Right.
And it will be that way. And that's so much more than the 2.8% social security increase that taxpayers are getting. I understand that there are very good reasons for retention to have this, but the chief in the past has given raises in addition to the 3% with the budget process. If he can squeeze that out in his department budget, maybe that's a better way to go. I don't want to burden I don't want to burden taxpayers with basically a permanent 6% increase to every firefighter every year, when taxpayers are only getting 3%.
Well, God, I can't wait till school. We discussed the school contract.
Yes, we have a problem. I have a problem with the labor contracts at the school,
Huge.
because it's the same problem.
Yes, good.
And you know what happens with the school? Once you've reached your 15th year or 7th year, whatever the last year is, then there's money put in the contract, or money put in this case, a warrant article or in the budget, so that people who are in 8 and 9 and 10 get some sort of an increase.
Off-grid.
And Bill, you said, it does open the door. This is the thing that opens the door to all of those possibilities.
And when this passes, Jason will be back next year with a pay scale.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Take it easy.
I have to be
Can't
honest.
speak for everybody.
I have to be honest though, Jason, that's why I asked the question. This is not picking on you or anybody, but if I were in your position and I saw this happen to fire, and we know what PD's got, and you see what the schools have got, boy, my employees, I would think, would be asking me, when are you gonna step up and start giving us a helping hand? Because, you know, your people, we pay them, but
Public Works Department already went up to the voters 2 years ago and asked for a $3 an hour base raise to get us to where we need to be. And I said that I wasn't gonna be back up anytime soon asking for money, other than what is supposed to be a COLA that's not a COLA anymore. It's based on merit now.
It's a COLA.
So it's not really, we're not really cost of living anymore, but we have our merit-based raises that are still voted on, but we have that. So Public Works Department's not asking for any of that anytime soon.
okay, thank you.
And motion's open, right?
Yes.
Anytime soon is a 3-year time limit.
I might hit the lottery in 3 years.
That's
and
what
won't
you wanna
care.
call it, sure.
Any other comments, discussion?
Vote.
All right, all those in favor of the committee recommending to adopt the fire pay scale policy, say, raise your hand, please.
Aye.
Aye.
3, 4, 5, 6. All those opposed? My count, any abstain?
I abstained.
You're abstaining. So that's 7-3-1, right?
I thought we were 6.
That was to recommend 7-3-1, it passes, right? 7-3-1, to
We don't
recommend.
have a cistern, portable ventilator. That costs us no money. I recommend I don't remember what we said.
Make a motion to recommend the portable ventilator.
I make a motion to recommend the portable ventilator.
Second.
Second by Carrie. Discussion on that?
This is a
No tax
no-brainer,
impact
thank
coming
God.
out of a
Yeah, I
fund.
mean, so there's no tax impact this year.
No,
There-
not now.
There is tax impact in the
The
future.
maintenance, right?
But
Save somebody's
Yeah, there's
life.
always impact somewhere along the line. Any discussion?
This is coming out of
The fund,
Ambulance fund,
the ambulance fund?
correct.
Yeah.
for the purchase.
Everybody understands, of course, that the ambulance fund, if that money had come to the town, would reduce the tax rate, then we'd have a real decision to make on this. But since we put that money aside, this is free, but you've already paid for it by our taxes in past years.
We used to have capital reserves funds until somebody blew them out in order to reduce taxes in the past. And as the result is, we're paying through the nose on a lot of things. Capital reserve funds, and this is the revolving fund, they're there to cover a lot of this stuff so we don't keep hitting our taxpayers over the head for all this stuff. Because like a house, this crap all happens in groups, and people just don't have that kind of money.
You gotta take care of your.
I think it's a good thing to have.
Get hit on one end or the other, though. You could argue both ends of it. You could get the money up front, save taxes now, or you could save
I like
taxes later.
savings accounts.
If we have it sitting in an account, it's not gonna grow at the same rate as inflation,
No.
so.
Probably not. No, they're not investing. They can't invest these accounts.
The disadvantage is that just now, hey, it doesn't cost the taxpayers anything because they've already paid for it, so why don't we go ahead and spend the money? If in fact this had a price tag with it, we'd have to ask ourselves, is this really important enough to do as opposed to X? And because we have this fund, that question is never asked.
Right.
Same thing with the scale.
Right.
No. It's different. None of that stuff gets paid for by taxes.
Not only that, let's be honest, the scale puts the employees in a terrible position.
The scale
Lack of
or
it.
the
No.
lack
Okay,
of-
we're going off track.
Yeah.
We got a
Let's go
motion
back
open
to
on the
this.
ventilator. We can talk
Ventilator.
about funds and the merits of funds,
Portable
but.
ventilator.
and-
Yeah.
and-
I,
Let's vote on the
I was
ventilator.
gonna say, like, has not having this ventilator cost anybody a life? Has,
not yet.
not yet.
Well, that's
Have
a
we-
tough
we
question.
haven't- Well, we haven't needed it yet.
How do you-
Well, we don't
I
know
mean,
that,
how do you
Be
know?
the person that needs it and we don't have
There's
it.
like a manual, like,
They are doing it.
yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a
it's an old school,
manual, like old school versus like
Yeah.
a portable ventilator that actually is mechanical and like.
Oh, can I make a
Those are two
point?
different things.
What?
No, this is, excuse me, Tom, this is a finance committee meeting, and it's not open to comment. by the
Correct.
public
Right, it's
Or anyone
not.
else, unless somebody has a
Somebody
question.
has a question.
That's why I asked, can I make a point? The
No.
answer's yes or no,
No, not necessarily,
then fine.
yeah.
Why wouldn't we
I
vote
will
on the
say
ventilator?
this.
People wanna open the question, they can.
But
on that.
why?
I was in nursing school, and I had to do CPR on somebody. It is not easy. This is huge, because if you're working on somebody and you don't have the strength and they die, it stays with you for the rest of your
And
life.
sometimes the worst case isn't dying, it's, you know, being,
Isn't this the ventilator which would go in the ambulance, and so that the EMT doesn't have to physically
Right,
engage?
right.
Right, it frees them up to do other things.
so I think we're mixing, though, to your point, Neil. The CPR was last
last
year,
year.
Right.
which is the chest
But
compression.
still, to be able to breathe, somebody's gotta
Right.
get these
Correct.
people to
This is
breathe.
This
not
is
that?
different,
No,
no,
this is begging them,
this is,
more or less begging them so they can breathe.
To breathe,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that still takes,
Yeah,
you
it's-
put a thing over their nose and you go,
you're supplying the
you're
proper
supplying
amount
the
of
air. Yes,
oxygen
used to
to
do
a
mouth-to-mouth
person.
resuscitation, now we can beg them if we're lucky. But the point is, it still takes time and endurance, especially if you're transporting.
Right.
And if somebody dies on your watch, you don't forget it.
Right.
And I can say that from experience.
I can,
Correct.
if you want, I can just read the benefits that were
Oh,
listed in the
thank you.
CIP. The current device is archaic but functional. Increased safety for patient and staff, controlled volumes and pressures reducing human error in the manual device. Consider the standard of care. Reduce personnel needed for ventilation and apneic patient. Put service in line with others in the region. Frees up personnel to attend patient needs. And I don't know what this is, BiPAP, CPAP. I don't know what that means here, but, so it's a modernization
Yeah.
tool to get in line with current technology. And if they're short somebody in the ambulance, this person can multitask if this thing is doing the ventilation for them.
Yeah.
Plus our ambulance rides are a half an hour, not 5 minutes.
Matters.
That's true.
Yep.
Good point.
This includes 5 years maintenance, but after that, there'll be a cost.
Yeah.
Okay? I will ask Benson if he has a point. I'll open it up for you to make a statement.
Covered them,
Got it? Oh,
Yeah.
from here? Okay.
you covered it. It,
The wise.
by the way, the CPAP, BiPAP, it's the rate and frequency of the breathing for the patient. It's like a sleep apnea machine,
Right.
same thing.
It's regulated, yeah.
The point I was going to make is there's only so many people on the department. Not all of them are medically trained, so you may or may not have a medically trained medic. You may have a basic or an advanced. This machine will allow that person to hook it up, and it performs advanced services for a patient.
So it allows you to do it even with a lesser qualified person, or,
Right.
Correct. It doesn't take the place of a paramedic,
right?
but it assists whoever's in the back of the ambulance with keeping the patient alive till he can get to the hospital.
Okay.
And it does wear you out. I've performed CPR more times than I want to tell you, and you get tired quick. So in addition to the Lucas machine, which is the compressions, the ventilator used in conjunction with that frees the person up to administer meds, check vitals, do all this other stuff. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Any other discussion?
Thank you.
All those in favor of the committee recommending the portable ventilator, raise your hand, please. Any opposed? That carries unanimously. Okay, so we deferred the veterans credit, the raises for non-union employees, and that's it. And
Well,
Are we
so
voting?
to Neil's point about something, you don't have it on this sheet, but changing the DPW special revenue fund percentage, from 50% to 100%, and then it also takes the hauling money
Yeah.
out of the operating budget, that, it's not a dollar.
there's no dollar amount, but
amount, but it is a financial impact.
It moves it from 50 to 100?
It moved, yes.
So it's on this sheet, it's highlighted in gray because there's no dollar amount per se directly. Kate's making the point that there's a financial fiscal impact, which is correct.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh.
decreases our revenue.
I didn't,
Taxes will go up as a result.
I didn't-
So Neil, it decreases our revenue, but now part of that's not on this line, but part of that article also removes the hauling fees that we are now spending out of our budget. It removes it from the operating budget, and they pay for the hauling fees for recyclables out of this fund.
And so, is it a net?
It's like, they'll make a little bit of money, but not,
It's-
they'll get a
it's-
little bit more than they currently
It's
get,
a
but
net gain,
so it's nearly a wash.
it's almost a wash, I think, right?
but,
Yeah.
but it's a loss now, right?
So we get 50%. The budget, the transfer station budget has some lines for hauling of recyclable materials.
Correct.
And the transfer station gets 50% of that back. The recyclable money gets 50% of that back into a special revenue fund. And the other 50% goes to revenues for the budget to cover costs such as hauling recyclables. Are there years that it's over that cost and the budget would be reduced by a little bit? Sure. Are there years that it's over and it ends up being the opposite way? Sure.
Why are you
This,
doing this? What's the purpose?
to
Why are you
get,
going from 50 to 100%?
to get the money for the transfer station, that the transfer station generates.
I thought the transfer station operated for the benefit of the town. Shouldn't the town get the money?
Well, you're thinking of it similar to the revolving fund for the police department when they do special,
The town's getting the money. We can go back and forth all day on how they're getting the money, but they are getting the money. This promotes recycling, which also reduces what the town pays in taxes to get rid of trash.
Right.
So it would, I can't give you a dollar amount on how much that would reduce, but that is an incentive certainly for people to recycle. So you've got a reduction in your hauling in your regular budget, and you've got some nominal amount of reduction for kind of that promotion of recycling.
I'm trying to understand why you would want to increase the fund if, as you say, by and large, you're also assuming that the fund will pay for something that the transfer station now pays for, the hauling. The extra 50% is equal to the amount that you pay for hauling recyclables, is that correct? Roughly,
It depends on the year.
on average, about the same? Or you think the fund is going to grow?
It's been a little on the positive side the last couple of years.
So basically, this is going to increase the fund over time.
That's
This
the
change is
idea.
made.
That's the idea.
but not huge exponentially because recycling is not jumping in that direction.
I mean, here's the bottom line. A trash trailer costs $100,000. Compactor costs $100,000. If we can find some way to offset that besides asking for taxes,
Yeah.
here's the offset.
This is the classic example of trying to get something off budget. He wants to have a separate source of money so he can either pay for or offset the cost of something, which if it were in the budget on one of these line items as a separate warrant article, we'd have to make a decision. Is it worthwhile to spend this money? But now it's going to be costing us half price because he's got this money that we set aside out of dollars that previously would have offset taxes. I mean.
So
it-
why,
it's-
I like savings accounts, so I'm fine with this.
you've got half the committee who's asking department heads to find alternative sources for revenue,
Right.
to not ask for tax impacts. So I just,
I would make the comment, you have a manager, he's capable, he's running the place, he's doing a good job, let him control his budget, right? And he's gonna need this money one way or the other, he's keeping government out of this, which is a damn good idea.
He's not keeping government out of this, John.
Well, we are by doing this.
No, he's saying he wants to take dollars that would otherwise offset taxes and put them in his piggy bank so that in the future, he can say that, oh, it's not gonna cost taxpayers the full amount for whatever it is he wants to buy, a trailer for $100,000. It's only gonna cost you $60,000 because I've already taken the money from you in the form of taxes.
Neil, you're always saying that this money is going to go offset taxes. How often have we seen money and it has not gone to offset taxes? It goes to projects at the end of the year, it goes to other things. So that is not a valid statement.
There are some offsets of taxes, though. Some of money has given back. It's
Not
not all of it.
to the nth degree.
Right.
This is practical, it's a
So-
savings account.
So the concept is that if we had a whole series of these funds, we wouldn't have to worry about the town budget.
You'd have to worry
You
about
wouldn't have to worry about
oversight.
big ticket items hitting you as hard as they do. It's like knowing that your house needs windows, so you're putting money away for when you're gonna start changing out the windows in your house. You need a new car, you're budgeting for the next couple of years so you can afford the new car. That's what he's doing.
May I pose a hypothetical? So hypothetically speaking, if this fund had a surplus, could the Board of Selectmen or the town vote to redistribute funds from this particular asset, like fund, pool of funds, to something else to reduce the
No.
tax?
We could vote to eliminate the fund and then do something with that money. I don't know that we can say we want to take money out of this fund and use it for some other purpose.
Or dial it
Is
back
that
to
what you're saying?
50.
Yeah, because I,
talking
didn't
about
the
the
school do
surplus.
something like this like a few years ago, where they did like a special warrant to
Yeah.
vote for some
To use
fund
the
to be
surplus.
created?
The school has to do that, though, by law. They have to get the surplus back unless the town gives them permission to use some of it for a parking lot, which is what it was.
I see. So would it work
This-
in the same way?
This is not surplus.
Okay. But if it were, I guess, so if it were, because this is recycling money, so this would be the impetus or, I guess, somebody's like actual motivation to want to recycle, even though it's like technically legal to not recycle for the town, I believe.
No.
Why
Isn't
would?
it? Like you have to recycle?
it's mandatory
Would it be a better
recycling.
incentive to recycle if you knew the money was going into this fund as opposed to reducing your taxes?
I think it reduces your taxes now. If you recycle, it increases the revenue for the town, which in turn would reduce the taxes.
Not under this
Not if it
scheme.
goes into all of that revenue goes into a fund.
It would not
That's
reduce your
what-
taxes at all.
That's Neil's.
Reduces the operating budget.
And so the operating budget would then therefore perhaps reduce the budget that's presented to the town for voting, so it would be like a backdoor way of reducing taxes? Is that?
Not necessarily.
I don't know how it reduces how does it reduce the operating budget?
Your hauling's not coming out of the operating budget anymore.
Oh, okay, it's shifting. It's shifting from the
If he
budget.
makes more money on recycling than he has to spend on hauling, that money builds up in the fund, and then he can spend it to offset whatever particular piece of equipment he'd like to have. Right now,
Scale.
that money from recycling is a revenue stream that the town uses. We're spending X, we've got this much revenue, and this has to be raised by property taxes.
I think you should-
Reducing the amount of revenue the town gets if you put it into this fund. He is making the point, though, that you will be offsetting that because I will be assuming the full cost of haulage of the recyclables from this fund. But if the town really recycles like crazy, he's making money, and we are losing potential taxes. If, on the other hand, the town stops recycling, he loses that money, he's still got to pay for haulage, and he's in trouble.
Well,
And then he'll come back, of course, with a
But if this
cash
fund,
request.
if this fund
Neil,
does
you
make
gotta
money,
stop saying what I'm gonna do.
He's got, he's got a compactor that
I've
has,
seen so many of these.
That,
things
no,
operate, Jason.
that's
He's seen it all
great,
before.
but you're not here doing what I'm doing.
the other thing you're not taking into account is, he's got a compactor that has to be maintenance, that gets broken, that someday's gonna have to be replaced. He has got trailers that we haul that look like crap, and they have to be maintained and replaced. And all this takes money, and one thing you have to realize when you're dealing with taxpayers and asking for money, the average person does not understand how bad the shape of the equipment is, and they will say, I don't need a trailer because, hey, it's only garbage, and then he's gonna have to we're gonna have to cut the town somewhere, or we're gonna have to go for a bigger chunk of the pie and ask for a bigger warrant article, because he's not gonna have the money he needs to take care of stuff. Just like we take care of the cruisers, just like we take care of the fire trucks, you take care of your equity. And that's important. Your equipment is important.
There are two ways to do that, this way and the way that we've done it in the past.
Everybody's
to
right.
Raise taxes.
And it hasn't gone well when you, with the raising of taxes.
How much money, 50%, it's 50% now, how much is that put into the fund a year as opposed to what, 100%? What's the difference that you'd be getting about?
So, in a good year, we can bring in about 50,000
Okay.
into our.
25,000 and 25,000 now.
No, just into our 50%.
Half of 100.
50,000 and 100,000.
Yeah.
50,000
50 and 50.
50 and 50.
Yeah.
It's $100,000, so it's, we're talking $50,000 a year, so that would decrease in revenue going to the town, and it would go into this fund.
And what are hauling costs in
Yeah,
that,
but
in a
that's
good
the
year?
point.
I'd have to get you the number. I have a spreadsheet, I didn't bring it with me.
Oh, absolutely.
But you were thinking it was
absolutely,
about
yeah.
a wash?
Some years it is, some years it isn't. Like I said, I'll bring the spreadsheet for you next time.
If it's for a special revenue fund, do you have to get taxpayer?
It still has to
approval
go through
to
taxes,
to
taxpayers,
use it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No taxpayer approval?
To
Yeah,
use
it
the
still
money
has,
in that fund?
it still has to get voted on.
But if you're doing
But it
haulage,
would just have no, or lesser tax impact.
The way the warrant article is written, it allows the hauling to come out of there.
directly, without a, okay.
Yep.
People are giving you permission in advance
Mhm.
for that.
Mhm.
So in point of fact, if the haulage and the money you get from recyclables is equal, the fund doesn't change balance, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in another example, so if you did have a surplus of, let's say, 40,000, could you use those funds to then cover the cost of the transition from part-time to full-time without increasing the
No.
town's?
No.
You'll use it on the transfer station, I think, right? That-
For transfer station special revenue fund, it's for the purpose of
Yeah.
equipment.
Not
It's not
personnel.
personnel.
So last year, I wanted to go just 100%, and it was brought up at town meeting that that was gonna take away from the offset of cost from hauling. That was the only comments that I got back on it. So this year, we came with this.
Yep.
So that's what we're trying to do here, is listen to what people have said and their comments. Obviously, it got voted down last year. I don't know if it was because of that or not, but here we are, trying to listen to what the people have said. As well as, if I can make a point, it's still about special revenue fund, about the scale last year. The finance committee did not recommend it because they wanted to see more offsetting costs.
That's what you're doing.
Kudos for doing the offset. I think that's responsible.
But you have a facility that was built in the 80s that needs to be fully gone through.
Needs work.
Realistically, there's no recycling facility. There isn't a great spot to store recyclables. There isn't
You need a
a
building.
great spot for the guys outside to get out of the weather. This fund is supposed to be for equipment,
Yep.
upgrading facilities. If we can take money from the revenue that the transfer station makes and put it back into the transfer station, again, we're not asking for tax money for that purpose. If you want to argue the point that you're taking away from taxes over here to give it back over here, sure. But I feel as though the money that the transfer station makes should go back into the facility, whether it's equipment
Well, the
or-
other point is, let us be honest, hauling is not getting cheaper, it's getting more expensive. So if anybody's under the misconception that we are going to save by giving this to the town and that it's gonna stay a fixed rate, hauling's only going up. And the biggest problem with hauling is that it doesn't matter when you haul it to Pennacook, there's a line. I mean, whether you haul it 3 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 6 at night, it's always a major mess up there. And you get charged for the time that you're just spinning your wheels, sitting up there. It's all money. So this helps you, if anything.
Okay.
Oh, we have already voted on this one.
We haven't.
Did we vote on it?
No, this is not on our list, right?
Oh, this is on the other side.
This
Transfer
is not on
station?
this
It's on
list.
the main list, right,
Yeah.
this is, we can
It's
vote
on
on
here.
this.
Can we vote on this?
I'll add it to the list.
It took me a while to catch up on
I
the
thought it
switch
was
and
in
discussion.
the
It's item
previous
14.
scale.
No, it's on
Yeah,
this.
I thought so too in a minute, and
Oh, okay. I thought,
then,
We don't
and
know.
then I finally
It
realized.
was on
where
the
it was at.
color-coded list, not the gray list.
got it, okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion that, and again, this is on Beth's list, which I didn't put it on mine, but I will add it. In fact, I will add probably the other two fund items, because we're probably gonna wanna discuss those as well, and we'll get the language.
You might wanna check the, number 20, just to see. I don't know what the article is, but
Yep, I'll get the language from Beth.
Yeah, you want the language before we even talk about that one.
Well, that'll be.
So are you making the motion,
Yeah, I'm
Tom?
making a motion that the committee recommend what is priority 14 on the list, the DPW Special Revenue Fund change from 50 to 100%.
Second?
Wait a second, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of recommending this article, raise your hand, please. Okay. Nope, okay, opposed? Neil's opposed, and we have one, we're missing one person, so it would be a, it would be a 9-1. The motion carries. Maria left at 9:40. And with Maria not here, we should decide, certain ones we should probably consider not voting on tonight, I feel, but,
It would be nice to kind of see where we stand on the town proposed budget.
before
We would
we
even
vote on these others, I'd really like to get some of the percentages that Tom has on the spreadsheet that I apparently didn't get. I'd like to know what percentage increase we're getting for the default budget versus current, for the proposed budget versus the current taxes. I know that, I know some of those percentages for the schools, because I was on the school, the Ware School list, but I don't know what they are for the town or for Stark. And I'd like to be able to get those to be informed before I cast my vote. So I would not like to take up the town or any of the school articles.
Yeah, it's late anyway.
yeah, I'll send that information out on the budgets. What I have for the town is 4.13% over default.
What is it over 25?
From
That's
the-
the key number,
Um,
because that's what affects our tax rate.
I don't have that for the proposed. The default was 2.74 change from the last past budget. That doesn't sound right.
So the 25 budget versus the proposed default is 2.7% increase?
2.74, that's what I have.
Which is just about 2.8% inflation. And what's the proposed? You don't have that?
I just have over default. It's 4% roughly over default. 4.13.
What's 4.13?
The proposed over the default this year.
Oh, but what's the proposed? You don't have proposed over 20, or current. You have the numbers?
It was last year's default, no, I don't have that.
I'll check your spreadsheet.
Yeah, definitely. It's in the raw data tab, so, and I'll double check my numbers send out another copy.
Could you put a date on these documents like you gave us tonight? Just so we know where they,
I do. When I send out the Excel spreadsheet, it has the date on it, I believe.
yeah, but these other ones
The
didn't.
other ones I didn't. No, I'll
They
do
were-
that.
They were our working copies, so it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a small thing, right?
Nope.
you know, but-
No, actually, the dates are in the PDFs, the names. It has yesterday's date.
In the name, but not the document,
Oh, in the document itself.
Yeah, so when it's printed, we see.
Oh, I
it.
get you.
just so
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know which
yeah.
one we're looking
Yep, I got it. As of, I'll put an as of date.
Yeah, because the file carries the date, but.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I was rushing.
So if we wrap this up now, Tom, we meet again on the 23rd, correct?
Yes.
Is anybody coming to see us on the 23rd, or is it just us?
I think it's just us.
for. Hopefully it's just us.
Because if it's just us, everybody needs to understand, we've got to get this done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people can come, but nobody's invited. I mean,
No, but I
we
mean,
don't have an agreement
our
with anybody.
committee has got to understand,
Oh, yeah.
we're at crunch time now.
No, that's it. It has to be done on the 23rd.
And
And we have to finish the language by the 27th,
Yes.
on the 27th.
27th is for language.
Yeah, we should get as much language as we can as we go. But, yeah, I think when we vote, we should be careful to try to put that, get the minority and the majority opinions documented so that we can
Yes.
put the language together and.
Yes, but I'm just saying that if this is the game plan for the 23rd, everybody needs to come with their game hats.
Oh, yeah.
It's done.
You wanna be looking at this stuff ahead of time on your own and make an opinion.
Yep.
And bring your opinion, you know, we can't spend 5 hours.
Beating it to death.
Yeah, well, we can discuss it, obviously, but
Yeah.
try to
there comes a
come
point.
prepared as much as you can.
One thing that might be helpful is if Carrie, once she has finished whatever she has, she circulates that to
Yep.
everybody.
Yep,
Bill used to do that, that was always very helpful.
Then when
Come to-
we can't email back and forth,
no,
Yeah.
but once we're here,
He's
It's
pining to
already
do it again.
refined at that
Yes.
point.
yeah, make your notes and bring them to the next meeting is essentially what we can do.
What about minutes from last time?
What's that?
Minutes?
Oh, yeah, we gotta do
The
minutes
last
real quick.
Minutes are easy.
The 12:24 minutes. I will make a motion that we approve the draft minutes for December 23rd. There's a typo in the agenda. And we review
Motion to
the.
accept.
Okay. Hold on a second.
second,
You got sidebars.
Huh?
You got- It's okay, if you need a second, it's okay. No, I don't wanna go forward with two paths. You need to discuss something, or you good? Okay. Certainly time.
Administrative discussion.
Okay. all right. So the motion, started to make a motion that we review and approve the minutes of the draft minutes of 12/23/2024.
Second?
Lori seconds. Any discussion, comments? Hey, all those in favor of approving those minutes for 12/23/25, say yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 10-0-0. 10-0, yeah, 0. Any other discussion? Comments?
Nope.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Jessica, second. We're adjourned at 9:59.
Do we punch these and turn them off or something?
Do you think like we're
Oh.
missing anything from last year? 'Cause
Yeah, I'm getting, pretty good, got a temp